Spin City. Spin City on the screen, got the room on 10. Breaking news, panel smoke, then he does it again. The bass in the morning, debauchery at night. He steps in loud and he don't back right. Clip it, post it, watch the chat explode. One more take, then he takes the road. He talks that talk with the grin and a stare. The other side's talking, he already there. Hold up, here he comes. Hands in the air, let the verdict come. No more hush, no more shade. Spin City live and the whole place sways. Spin City, Spin City. He don't play it safe. Spin City, bringing fire to the face. MAGA on the mic, and he says what he means. Spin City, shaking up the scene. Panels in a circle, everybody wants a turn. He leans in hard, let the hot takes burn. Protest on the ticker, riot in the thread. He talks over the chaos with a raised up head. Yell a little louder, make the point land clean. Cut through the noise like a headline machine. If they come for the room, he comes right back. One more flash and the whole beat snaps. Hold up, here he comes. Hands in the air, let the verdict come. No more hush, no more shade. Spin City live and the whole place sways. Spin City, Spin City. He don't play it safe. Spin City, bringing fire to the face. MAGA on the mic, and he says what he means. Spin City, shaking up the scene. When the mics get hot and the comments fly, he laughs at the noise and he calls it live. One more round, let the sparks go wide. Spin City standing on the right side. Spin City, Spin City. He don't play it safe. Spin City, bringing fire to the face. MAGA on the mic, and he says what he means. Spin City, shaking up the scene.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you may be. I am Spin City News, or the Angry American. We have a good one tonight. The Democratic and Republican Party switch is a myth. We have Mick on the negative and Donald, or I apologize, Real Talk on the negative and Kraut on the affirmative. Gentlemen, are we ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
All right. We will start with opening statements. There is a goal. The goal must be hit for me to open the panel and drop the StreamYard link at the end of the debate. Mr. Kraut Mick, or Mick Capitalist, you have 5 minutes. Please use all 5 minutes for your opening statements, and then we will move to Real Talk Politics for his opening statements. Mr. Kraut, if you please, sir.
All right, yeah. How's it going? Hey, everybody. Spin, thanks for having me. Real Talk, nice to see you again. This is actually my first time debating the same person a second time, which would, obviously be you. We debated once in the past about the SAVE Act. Hopefully this will go smooth, and hopefully we both learn and come up with good arguments. For my opening statement, I just want to say a few things that are facts that can't be argued, and then we'll go into what we feel when it opens up. So as far as the 1964, 1960, and 1957 Act, no one can dispute what Republicans and Democrats in the House and the Senate voted on. For the 64, 153 Democrats voted yes versus 91 voted no in the House. Republicans in the House for the 64 Act voted 136 for yes and 35 for no. In the Senate, 46 Dems voted yes, 21 voted no, 27 Republicans in the Senate voted yes, and 6 voted no. Those are some large numbers that, when we get into the actual debate, I'll bring up why I'm bringing these statistics. The 1960 Civil Rights Act in the House, 165 Democrats voted yes and 82 voted no. Republicans in the House voted 123 for yes and 12 no. The Senate, 42 voted yes, 18 voted no for the Dems, and Republicans voted 29 yes and 0 voted no. And then last, for the 1957 Civil Rights Act, 167 Republicans voted yes, 19 voted no in the House, and the Democrats in the House voted 119 votes for yes and 107 voted no. The Senate, 43 voted yes, 0 voted no, and the Democrats in the Senate voted 29 for yes and 18, all Southern Democrats, for no. Now, I'll be like a minute. I don't know how long that took. I'll be like a minute more. Those statistics, you can't dispute that. And when it becomes open, I'll bring everything else up or why those matters, and it will indicate of why the switch is a myth. Both parties evolved, but to say they switched ideologies is it's a myth, like the prompt says. But yeah, we can get more into it. Hopefully, I did it really good for my first opening dialogue. Never really did it before. Spin, I yield my time.
Thank you, Kraut. Mick, Real Talk Politics, your opening statements, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Yeah, this debate is on what Democratic and Republican parties, which is a myth. And to kind of get into that, I want to just clarify that we're not talking just about the 60s and the legislation that passed in the 60s. This switch wasn't just an immediate switch. This took a decades-long switch, especially here in the South. I'm from a state like Mississippi, and this is very clear. This is very clear to me when something like this is debated, and the facts are very clear. The Confederate supporters and the Confederate army and politicians were majority Democrat back during that time. True. But up until the civil rights movement, and after the civil rights movement, and into the 80s, 90s, we see the Republican Party flying the Confederate flags, flying actual Confederate battle flags, I mind you. My current sitting governor, who is a Republican, is flying the Confederate flag. He is a Confederate sympathizer. My current senator, who is Cindy Hyde-Smith, is a Confederate sympathizer. She wore a Confederate uniform and went to Confederate History Museum, but she has yet to go to a Black military history museum, and she represents the blackest state in the country. So when you say switch, I want to talk about ideologies. The conservatives, the Southern evangelical conservatives, did indeed switch political parties because of their ideologies switched at that point in time. And it wasn't just, that ideology that forced them to switch. It was multiple factors, economic, other socio-economic factors there. But you would be blind to ignore the simple fact that this is a very contented point, especially in my part of the country, where we see that some of the same old folks that fought against segregation are now MAGA fanatics. So yeah, I don't know how much time I have left, but yeah, I'll see you the rest of my time.
All righty, gentlemen. Just want to remind you, please mind TOS. Everyone is streaming to their respective platforms. We are on YouTube, X, Rumble, Pilled, Facebook, and all the other respective platforms. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
All right, so I guess I'll start because I'll agree with you on one thing that you said about that. A lot of Southern Democrats actually did go to the GOP for economic reasons. So I'll agree with you on that. But what is it? Oh yeah. I took notes. Give me 1 second because I had to take a
Yeah.
lot of information in like the
I
last.
would ask you if you think that, do you think that's the only reason that that switch happened?
Well, no. So I'll guess we'll touch on the Southern strategy. What that really was like, there's talk whether it was even a thing or it's misconstrued. But what the Southern strategy effectively did was lean Southern Democrats to the Republican side from for talks like law and order, um, workers, um, what's the word? Right to work for white voter bases and small government. Where around the same time, the Democratic Party and the Northern Republicans was even kind of following this, which is why they went to the Republican side or Democratic side, is they started leaning more into like the big government, pro-immigration, and a lot of them started following uh, the Marxist theory.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I hear you. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at something going on with my camera right now. I'm trying to fix that. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, I hear you when you try to say that it's mostly economic factors and small government and whatnot, but that's not. You can say that's a contributing factor, but you have to go into what economic factors made all these Southerners so mad. What were the economic factors?
I can actually tell you, right to work states, the Democratic Party was trying to push union laborers really hard, and a lot of the Republicans and people on the right felt that that was leaning more into communism, hence Marxist theory, because it was limiting. I'm sure we all know about unions. Like you gotta pay your dues and all that other stuff. I don't want to dive too much into that, but that's one of the reasons why Southern Democrats started going to the Republican side, because Republicans are right to work. They don't believe you should have to pay dues to be in a job. That's one economic reason of why they switched over.
That's not necessarily consistent because the southern states, specifically states like Mississippi, voted for FDR for for consistent times. And that was a Democrat campaigning on things like unions. So there has to be something there that forced all these Southerners to go from Democrat to Republican, right? And it doesn't sound like it was specifically unions because they were voting for FDR, which is one of
Well,
the
it
most
was one of the reasons.
progressive presidents that we ever had.
It was one of the reasons. Like when who was it? Johnson that signed the 64 Act. Um, a lot of Democrats didn't like that policy, so they switched over to the Republican side. I'm not denying people like the average Joe, like way back in the days, switched political parties. It's the ideology. Ideology. I can't say that word. It's the parties themselves.
Ideological.
Yeah, it's the parties themselves that might claim it's a myth. They switched. They just evolved. But when Johnson signed that bill, a lot of Democrats were mad because they still wanted segregation and everything else. So some of them switched over to the Republican side, and then that's where the Southern strategy came in. And who was it? Nixon that pushed it. He felt that was a good way to get more white voters from the South that were previously Democrats over to the Republican side, promising everything I mentioned before: small government, anti immigration, and law and order. But Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few reasons of why the Democrats won over to Republicans, and there's reasons why Southern Southern or Northern Republicans went over to the Democratic side.
So you do concede that there was some type of switch. So the contentious point is the reason behind the switch. And while I will say there are several different policies that may have went into several different things of Southerners picking the separate party, um, we have to stay in reality here. A lot of things that there were a lot of things that made Southerners mad. But we have to be clear that civil rights and things like affirmative action and all of the progressive things that passed in the 60s, 70s, even 80s made a lot of Southerners mad. And hence they left the Democratic Party and started voting Republican because the Republican Party courted all of the races in the South. And there's documented proof of this coming from Nixon. I mean, not specifically Nixon, but Nixon's campaign aide and Ronald Reagan himself and things like that. So,
right. Well, so yeah, I never said people didn't switch. The idea that the parties themselves switch. Now, when the civil rights was passed, do you know? I believe there was 22 or 23 Democrats that voted against it. Do you know? Do you know when it was passed? How many of those Democrats switched over to the Republican side?
how many Democrats switched over to the Republican side
Yeah,
when?
switched over to the GOP. When the
During what time
64
frame?
when the 64 Act was passed, do you know how many Democrats out of the, I believe, 22 switched over to the GOP?
Maybe a handful, if that. I mean, not immediately. This happened over time. Such as Strom Thurmond, he ran as a Dixiecrat and he stayed as a Dixiecrat for a little while.
Yeah, he was the only one.
So not just Strom Thurmond. Who's the other guy? Let me see here. Crap, I forgot his name. Yeah, I think it's Jesse Helms. Yeah.
I would have to look at that, but I'll give it to you. So we can. I name one and you name one. So that's only two out of the 20 something. It was
Yeah,
like the
Jesse
local
Helms.
20. Only two of them switched. Now, all those other people after the civil rights got passed in 64, they stayed in office as Democrats. And then they either retired or died, and just more Democrats filled their seats. And there was like 12 seats, I think, that were like, I forget the word. I don't want to call it vacant, but it was like 20 years where they couldn't fill their seats up or something like that. I got to relook at that. I didn't take notes on that. But yeah, I mean, you got all these Democrats that voted against it, and when it passed, they stayed Democrats, all but two. Thornburg, or however you pronounce his name.
Strom Thurmond. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is that he was specifically a firebrand of a politician, and he kind of represented the South at that time because when he did end up running, he won the South as a states' rights Democrat. And when he did run for president, he won the South because he was against the Civil Rights Act, because he was against desegregation. So yeah, that's what I'm saying is that it felt like the South was going to go to whoever catered to them. Well, catered to whoever was in political power in the South at that point in time. And lo and behold, Nixon and his campaign strategist, let me pull them up right here because I have names today. Let's see here. Kevin Phillips. Yeah, he openly said that black voters registered Democrat in the South, the sooner black voters registered as Democrats in the South, the sooner white backlash voters would go Republican.
Do you know what?
That is one of the leaders for the Richard Nixon campaign in 1970.
Right. Do you know what Lyndon Johnson said?
Oh, you're really going to go into a third hand statement after 10 years coming from a Ronald Reagan aide?
No, he legit said we lost the South for a generation, but we gained black voters for 200 years.
When did he? Where does that quote come from? It comes from a book that a Reagan campaign aide wrote a decade after the fact.
So he didn't say that?
It's debated if he actually said that. The person that wrote the book said he said it, but there's no verified proof that he said something like that.
All right. I'll look more into that after the debate. So I mean, I at the end of the day, we can interpret things, and Southern Democrats that were probably racist and for segregation, they definitely went over to the Republican side because of Johnson signing the Civil Rights, which it can be debated on why he even did that. Some say he was kind of pushed into that position because of Barry Goldwater, which I'm happy to get into him because that's another reason why I believe people say the switch actually happened. But but they didn't join they left the Democrats because of Johnson pushing the bill, but I think they joined the Republicans because of everything I mentioned: small government, economic reasons, and they were more of the religious type.
And I'm just trying to tell you that doesn't just track with the receipts that's there. I mean, like I said, Strom Thurmond ran as a Dixiecrat, and he won the South when he ran as a Dixiecrat president nominee.
Well, the Dixiecrat isn't Republican. He came up with a party. I forget what it's called. It was like the Democratic Association.
States' Rights Democrat, pretty much.
Yeah, like he wasn't even Republican when he did that. I think he became a Republican like years after that.
No, I'm just using that as proof that the South, which is a current day stronghold for the Republican Party, we can't agree to that, right? The South, without the South, the Republican Party wins no more elections on the presidential level, of course. What I'm saying is that at that point in time, it seems like the South was up for grabs, and Strom Thurmond exposed that fact. So whoever were to cater to the South in the future would win the South. And a smart politician, I'll give Richard Nixon that he's a very smart guy. A smart politician like Richard Nixon would see something like that and come up with something like the Southern Strategy. I mean, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, can you get mad at him for wanting to secure votes? I mean, if Nixon values were like up to par with like most conservatives feel, I mean, during that time, like I said, the Northern conservatives, hold on one second. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Northern conservatives, like if they all hold like a similar idea, the way of life, family, religion, small government, everything else, is it wrong for him to try to get the Southern white people to join his party and so he can secure votes?
No, it's what he chose to campaign on to get their votes. If you get what I'm saying, he chose to campaign on policies that he knew that those white, racist Southern voters would support. Things that would hurt Black people all across the South. Things like redlining legislation, deregulation, as they would call it, or tough on crime legislation, where they would, I mean, there's a reason why a certain form of a drug it puts out a longer sentence than the other form. Let's put it that way.
Well, a lot of Republicans passed for the Civil Rights Act compared to Democrats. There was even this damn, I'm forgetting the name. You remember when one Republican president had to deploy the National Guard because there was a Democratic governor that wouldn't allow 9 black kids into a desegregated school?
Wait, what? Yeah. You're talking about what, in Louisiana?
It may have been Louisiana. I didn't take notes on that. I thought I would remember it, but apparently I can't remember the names.
Okay. What about it?
Well, I was just giving an example that that's just another example how the Republicans were for desegregation. Our
Yeah,
president
but
literally had to deploy the National Guard because of a Democratic governor.
yeah, but as I stated in my initial statement, is that this switch didn't happen as soon as that bill passed. It happened the decades after that legislation passed. This was a long-term strategy implemented by the Republican Party. There's a reason why Ronald Reagan had his presidential announcement celebration right here in Philadelphia, Mississippi.
So when
Why,
do you
why would a Republican that's supposed to be so anti Confederacy in general, or anti racism, come down to the same place where we had 3 civil rights kids removed from us? Why would he go to that same city and announce his presidential campaign as a Republican?
I don't know. If I had to guess, it would to hit what's the word, like hit him at home, like show the people that were for segregation like we won type thing. You know what I mean?
Nah, I'm sorry, but you don't announce your presidential campaign in enemy territory.
Well, I mean,
That's never.
why not? It's a flex. I mean, you got to admit it's a flex.
But that's not something you do. You do it usually on what you consider home turf, and he understood that he had the talking points and the buzzwords to get the support from some of the more prejudiced individuals that would vote for him at that point in time. Because by the 1980s, like, the southern states were solidly Republican as far as the presidential level. Now, there were still some old Democrats in office in places like Mississippi, but they had a segregationist history usually.
Well, the southern states for the last 40 or 50 years have tended to vote the same way, and that is majority Democratic. Now, I got to ask you a question. When do you think the final switch occurred? If it was over a long period, when do you think the final switch happened? Like, to put the nail in the coffin.
Where do I think the final switch happened?
Yeah,
like it depends, because it was more a over time thing. It didn't happen like within a few seconds. You get what I'm saying? It was like the conservative ideal and conservative, because even back when civil rights legislation was passed, we still had conservative Democrats and progressive Republicans, things like that, right? So when something like that passed, it further divided those ideologies, those political ideologies. So more conservatives, I mean, like, when you would usually see a conservative today, it's most likely a Republican. And when you see a progressive, it's most likely a Democrat. And just 50 years ago, it didn't used to be like that. And this is one of the reasons why the Republicans strategized for this to happen. So yeah, they completely co-opted everything conservative, evangelical, and white.
Well, it wasn't just the Republicans got racists to vote for them, it was what the Democratic Party started standing for. Like I said, both parties evolved, and the Democratic Party evolved into taking Marxist theory, pro-immigration, and big government, and pushing union labors, which, again, the Republicans feel that limits somebody's right to work. Why should they have to pay money to work at a job type thing? You know what I mean? Again, I don't want to dive too much into unions. We all know how they work.
Yeah, but a whole part of the country does not switch simply because of something like unions. You get what I'm saying? It has to be something more inflammatory,
Well,
making
it was
people
everything
more
I just
angry
mentioned.
and things like that. So, I mean, you can say that, and that might be a part of the gradual change, like you said, an evolution or whatever. But that's still a political switch. That's a whole part of our country was voting Democrat. Now another part is voting Republican.
Well, the people switched parties, and it wasn't really probably when the bill first got passed, a lot of racist Democrats switched to Republicans because they felt they got betrayed. But again, Republicans kept getting Southern Democrats to come over to the Republican side because of all the reasons I just listed. It wasn't just one thing; it was a collective of things, and I would argue racist was the last of them.
Racist was the last of them.
Or
Why do you
racism was
think
the last one.
why do you think everybody from Nixon to Reagan used these buzzwords to kind of signal that they would target black and brown individuals?
Well, what
I mean,
buzzword? What did they?
it's well known. Like, if you are in the political world, things like tough on crime, especially the war on crime or war on drugs. So yeah, it's the whole thing was a targeting campaign focused on a certain community. I think there was a whole situation where the Nixon assistant or aide was talking about the need to target hippies and black and brown individuals. I mean, this is something that the voters actually paid attention to, and they voted for what they wanted to see. And I think that's not the last thing. It's one of the first things they thought about when they voted for people like Nixon and Reagan.
Damn, I had a question. So, are you under the assumption that Reagan and Nixon were racist, or they wanted segregation?
They wanted segregation. If with no pushback, I'm not sure. But do I think they were racist? I'm not even sure about that. But I know that they were pandering to the racists. If you get what I'm saying, they were using these racist ideologies to gain power.
Do you think they would have gotten those Southern Democrats to vote Republican if it wasn't for the Democratic Party evolving into their ideology?
You mean anti-racism ideology?
Well, it wasn't just anti-racism.
What else?
Pro-immigration, bigger government, progressiveness. They tended not to really believe in like the nuclear family.
That's not necessarily. We're talking about the Democratic Party of the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Correct.
And you said that they were pro-immigration?
Pro-immigration, yes.
Have okay.
Whether or not it was legal or not, it's open to debate, but we're not really talking about immigration.
I don't know how. I mean, in today's by today's standards, those old versions of the Democratic Party was still very conservative. Now, the Democratic Party did put a president like FDR into office that passed some of the most socialist legislation that this country has ever seen. But I think we all both of the parties were pretty racist. Like, even though FDR passed all those legislations to break up the monopolies and help the working man out, it was only for a working man of a certain persuasion. You get what I'm saying? So,
well, really, I would argue the Democrats haven't helped the working class minority in like the last 40 or 50 years.
the working class minority.
Yeah.
So you mean just any minority? They haven't helped.
Correct. They might pass some like bullcrap socialist program here and there, but all in all, they really haven't done anything to help the minority working class. If anything, they cause them to rely on the government and essentially be a slave to the government, relying on the government to give them the means to feed themselves and for shelter.
Okay, if you think that, what has the Republican Party done to help the working class minority?
I mean, to put it bluntly, working class and capitalism,
Working class and capitalism.
which is how, again, the Southern strategy is one of the reasons why.
No, that's not how that works. I mean, you can say that, but that's not any legislation passed or anything like that. What has the Republican Party done over the past 50 years to help out the working class?
We don't. Can I ask you a question to answer what you just asked me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Who do you think pushes more socialist programs, Democrats or Republicans?
Overall, Democrats.
Now, who basically says, for lack of a better word, get off your ass, work, make money, help the economy, build the economy?
Democrats.
Oh no, you were right the first one, but not the second. No, Democrats are all about socialist.
Which party has created most jobs? Which party has created the most jobs under presidential, numbers? I mean, which president, has created more jobs?
I'll look into that when this becomes open. But those numbers will be affected because the Democrats are really big into unions, obviously, and unions and politicians, they go hand in hand, and they can affect the numbers drastically, especially in the metropolitan area. But at the end of the day, like regardless or not, if Republicans actually push bills, I believe Trump's first term, he actually minorities, more specifically black individuals, had a better chance of getting a job under Trump's first presidency. I don't know about his second. I didn't read into that, but during his first term, it's highly debated that the black community has the lowest unemployment rate. That's the word I'm looking for. But at the end of the day, like you said it yourself, Democrats tend to push more socialist programs and socialist ideas. So they're effectively telling people like, hey, you don't have to work, divorce your man 5 or 10 years, and you get to keep the 5-6 kids that you have with that man, and he'll give you alimony. You can just stay back at the house collecting welfare and everything else. It's literally a system that Democrats came up with to make minorities a slave to the system.
Do you think only Democrats voted for that welfare system?
Well, I'm sure Republicans voted for it too, just like the majority of Republicans, compared to the Democrats, outvoted for the Civil Rights Act. That's why I gave those stats for my opening statement.
So why are we blaming Democrats when I think majority of the House and Senate, which was split during that time, voted for expanding welfare into helping? I think it wasn't even specifically for Black people, and white people benefit more than anybody off this welfare program. It's such as SNAP or any assistance that Section 8 all these different things.
Hold on one sec. Ask your question again, if there was a question. I kind
Oh
of.
yeah, my bad. I was just saying that, you know, white people, it's not just for black people. White people benefit more than anybody off of these welfare programs, such as Section 8, food stamps, SNAP, different things like that, WIC. And if you're supposed to be the party of pro-life, I don't understand why after a baby is born that y'all are so against providing that assistance to that child if it's needed. Everybody doesn't have a responsible parent. So we, as a country, should make up for that to assure that life has the best ability that it has to proceed on to being a productive member of society, right?
Yeah, and I would agree. White families or even white individuals are also on welfare and everything else. And I tend to lean more left when it comes to socialist programs. Whether or not welfare is a socialist program, that's debatable, but it's paid for through a tool that's called social democracy, and that is a left-leaning view to have social democracy on a capitalist system. It's also a safety net. Yeah, I have one or two left-leaning ideas, but there are people that are able to work that don't. That the majority of Democrats believes socialist programs or even socialism in general is the way to go. And I'm like, I don't believe that's helping America out to have you be reliant on the government for assistance. Like, get a job, work. Don't rely on Big Daddy government to pay your food every month.
But
I
that's what I'm saying is that it goes against what the Republican ideology is supposed to be. You guys are supposed to be the Christians, the people that push your Christian into even the way that you govern. At least that's the way you present yourselves as a Republican Party. So when I see something like that, where the leader of the Christian faith is Jesus, which wouldn't be against things like that. He didn't tell people to walk around and pick themselves up by their own bootstraps. And if you want to govern as you see your religion in several other policies, such as, Roe v. Wade, then we need to stay consistent. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you can't be a Christian and say that I'm against helping the less advantaged or the lesser advantaged or the poor or the homeless, especially if we got it.
Right. Well, maybe we can talk more about this subject when the panels opens. I feel like we both strayed too far off the prompt. Yeah.
But yeah, I still think there was a party switch. I think you even could see the point that you call it an evolution, but I think it's a party switch. And I think that no matter what you call it, at one point, the extremist racists in the South were Democrats, and now they represent the Republican Party.
Well, not all of them. Because again, in the last 40 or 50 years, the voting base for the South really hasn't changed that much.
The voting base in the South hasn't changed that much.
No, let me look it up real quick.
Outside of who they support for president.
Well, does the South tend to vote more Democrat or Republican?
Republican.
What about state-wise? Like, who do they vote for?
Republicans.
Really? Let me look that up real quick. Oh, real quick while I'm looking this up, you did mention a lot of Southern Republicans wave the Confederate flag around and everything like that. I don't think that's a good way to decide if they're racist or not, because sometimes I'll have the German flag in my background, a German and Irish flag in my background, because I'm German Irish. I'm not sitting here and saying, what the mustache man did 70 or 80 years ago back in the 40s was a good thing. I just take pride in my heritage. Maybe those people from the South waving that Confederate flag know what it actually stands for, not the racist crap that the Democratic Party excuse me, was using as a symbol for the Civil War.
It's weird that you guys want to call something that lasted less than 4 years a piece of heritage. That battle flag. I mean, all right. I mean, it's weird because it's tied so closely to the Civil War and what was used to perpetuate hate against people that look like me across the South. And if it wasn't used in that way, then I would kind of understand what you're saying, but it's a symbol of more than just heritage.
And gentlemen, I'm going to interrupt for just 1 second. I am dropping the StreamYard link. If you would like to come up and ask questions, this will be the time for the Q&A. We are going to put a pin in the conversation for just a moment. So start filling up the back. We will go into closing statements at this time, and then we will read any super chats, and then we will open the panel for Q&A. Since Mr. Kraut started, Mr. Real Talk, please start with your closing statements now, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My camera is all the way messed up all through the stream. But yeah, I just want to say I think he kind of just conceded this whole debate. He will acknowledge that there was an evolution, but there was still ideological and political switch throughout the South. And I mean, yeah, I think we kind of came to somewhat of an agreement that, you know, some of the most extremists across the South did switch over to the Republican Party. I don't really have much else to say to that. There's plenty of proof of it. And yeah.
All righty, Mr. Kraut.
Hey, yeah. So I never made the claim that people didn't switch parties, whether or not it's because they felt betrayed by Johnson or it was for the numerous things that I already mentioned several times, and I'm sure I'll mention when the panel actually opens. Yeah, I never made that claim, so I can't concede to something that I never made a claim for. My claim was the party switch is a myth, meaning the Republican Party were not the Democrats of back in the day, and the Democrats of back in the day are not the Republicans of today. There's no substantial evidence to back that claim up. Real Talk gave some strong arguments, a couple I had no answer for. But at the end of the day, like, you know, if you got to, you know, guess off of facts, and well, you know, they did this for that reason and not so much. I mean, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's not a goose, it's a duck. You know, Democrats have a history, and we can't ignore that. But I yield my time.
All righty. Nobody has come up in the back. Oh, I apologize. Hold on 1 second. Let's do this, and we will bring some other people up. You're muted, rookie. All right, we have Mr. Balderson. Mr. Balderson, any questions for the two panelists?
No, we both know that. I think that the Republicans are secretly racist and openly gay, and that the Republicans are openly racist, secretly gay. So I'm not sure where the switch on that would have been, but both parties suck monkey balls. Yeah, yeah. I'd like to hear either you prove me wrong on this.
Typical Mr. Balderson. Well, gentlemen, you can go at it at the panel. We'll bring up people as they come in. Oh, we got one. Oh, Mr. Clay.
You guys
Mr.
are still shit out of luck. Clay holds the same position I do.
Alrighty.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, and El Perro. Oh my goodness, you definitely got. You're done. You guys are toast.
So I got to go with Benjamin Balderson, man. Spot on. They both suck. Because as far as I know, it came about this shift that we're talking about. It wasn't so much in the demographics, but the actual vote in the end, going from Democratic in majority to Republican majority. So it didn't matter whether it was a Democrat pretending to be a Republican or a Republican pretending to be a Democrat. The shift was the majority vote went from Democrat to Republican. And in that, like I said, it came about Lyndon Johnson. Remember the Civil Rights Act? So what it was is the Republicans playing that they wanted the Civil Rights Act after the fact that they won, when in fact it was the Democrats that was pushing the Civil Rights Act to begin with, which then turned around and caused the shift of a majority Republican vote for the Republicans. So it's all a game. They're both playing in the same damn house. They all paid tribute to the same false patriarch. And they got you all duped. I ain't never once voted, never registered to vote. Think on it.
Thank you, El Perro. Mr. Clay, do you have any questions for the panelists at all, sir?
Sure. Appreciate you guys having this discussion, this debate tonight. So my question is going to revolve around the platforms themselves. So Southern Dixiecrats, and I know that the prompt tonight is, littering and the Democratic and Republican Party switch is a myth, right? So that's the prompt, not whether the Republican Party it sucks or the Democratic Party it sucks, right? It's whether they switched or not. So it's about their platforms, their viewpoints, and their ideologies as to how they implement policies and law. And so for that, my question is this. If it is the case that Southern Dixiecrats were full-on racist, Jim Crow creating law type legislators and judges and executive branch holders, and neither party exhibits that very thing to where they're literally going out. These were openly racist people. If they're not going out openly racist and they're completely denying any, like when they're openly, maybe they are on the back end secretly racist, but if they're not doing that, I guess this one would be for Real Talk more than Kraut. If they're not doing that openly, then how did the Republicans become this party of the Southern Dixiecrats?
Well, it's what happened right after the Strom-Thurmond election. Strom-Thurmond won the South in that presidential election as a third-party candidate, and people paid attention to that. And there was a obvious strategy to cater to the South to get that block. And what I'm saying is, throughout the process of implementing that strategy, they had to make concessions to certain powerful individuals in the South and move the party over to a certain direction.
I feel like that was more of like a buzz phrase. I'm still not understanding how one person. I mean, like I said, these were men, the Southern Dixiecrats. These were men who would go out. My camera went out. That's okay. I'll survive. I'll go out and come back in here after my questions. They were openly racist. They created Jim Crow laws. They created societies where if you came into their town, if you personally were to come into their town, or me, long-haired white boy, were to come into their town, we just wouldn't be leaving. Whereas
now he's
that,
white.
The thing is
one at a time.
I can go into these towns. You can go into these towns. You can pull up to the local Dollar General. You shouldn't have any issues. If you do, you can call the police. The police might treat you very poorly, but there are really literal mechanisms in place at this point. And for the majority of those societies that are built now, especially when you talk to a lot of the people in both of these parties, regardless of where they stand on the totem pole, whether it's the actual policymakers or the voters themselves, they will completely deny any involvement with racism.
Well, yeah, I mean, not being obviously racist was a part of the strategy. I mean, are you familiar with the Lee Atwater tape? If you're not, it's about him talking about the need to the Republicans could win Southern votes with open racist language, but by the 1968 he had changed that and said that that type of language would backfire. He says that that strategy would have to shift to talking about forced busing and states' rights, which was language that the Republican Party implemented.
So why would it fail?
Why would what fail?
Why would using that kind of language to describe what the policies would eventually become, why would that fail in the procuring of votes?
Because politically, especially on the presidential level, you wasn't going to win majority of the electorates that you need to win the White House. Yes, you would win the South, much like Strom Thurmond, but you would alienate yourself from the rest of the country.
Right, and so the rest of the country, right? So the primary portion of the country, the primary portion of the voters, Republican or Democrat, we're just not accepting the whole racist trope anymore, correct?
Well, yes, that's why I say that this didn't just immediately happen around the 60s or even towards the end of the 60s. This was a progressive thing that moved the South over to the Republican Party over decades.
Yeah, and I would actually agree that the whole thing, what we're talking about here, really just started ultimately around civil rights itself, which is the later 1870s. I can agree with that. It started getting very inflammatory around right.
civil rights, yeah.
And then when the 1900s came around, the Jim Crow laws came around. You got the civil rights movement itself. That's something different than the civil rights laws. So the history is there, but the switch itself would indicate that the Southern Dixiecrats are now the Republican Party, which I don't see.
Well, the people who voted for the Southern Democrats are now voting for Republicans. Let me clarify. I'm not saying that the politicians themselves switched or anything like that, but the same people that voted for those Southern Dixiecrats for that language that they spoke understood that type of language publicly was no longer appropriate because of civil rights.
Very good.
The culture,
perfect.
Changing.
So
they changed the coded language.
Right. So the voters are recognizing that this party is quote unquote voting for the policies and legislation that implements certain types of legislation that they would agree with. And I see what you're saying as far as that goes. However, that does not change the fact of the matter that the politicians themselves, which is the leading in the party, right? So the party, so like, and I think Ben will agree with me on this, is where the whole like disgust of both parties comes from. The whole bait and switch thing happens because these people believe that these parties are for them and they're dumb, right? The Democratic Party is not for the voter. The Democratic Party is for money. The Republican Party is not for the voter. They are for the money. So they are going to vote with the money wherever the company wants, where I understand that the voters think they're getting legislation that they want, but they're really not. What they're getting is a better environment for them to do business in. And that's what the Republican Party cares about. That's what the Democratic Party cares about. They don't care. The platform is money.
Yeah, and we can have that debate around the DNC and the RNC. I mean, there's different things that I disagree with the DNC as an organization and the way it's ran that I, obviously disagree with. But when we're talking about, when I talk about the Democratic Party switching or the Republican Party switching, I'm talking about the actual voters, because the party is more than just the DNC and the RNC. There's actual people out here in the streets of Mississippi calling their neighbors Democrats, and that's because they think of themselves as conservative Republican evangelicals. So some of the most noticeable and loudest people of each party are not officially a part of the party, as we would say. So
right,
that's why I say that it's more than just the politicians to me. It's the actual political activists. It's the people on the ground. It's the people being the extremists, for example, and who they choose to support is very important and needs to be paid attention to, and things like that.
Wouldn't Donald, wouldn't you say that the most openly racist president in modern history was the Democrats' last president?
Openly racist?
Yeah.
What do you mean by openly racist?
Wildly openly racist.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Well, we look at Joe Biden's history and we look at the things Joe Biden has said over the years. Number one, when we're talking about implementation of laws, Joe Biden was his only real political achievement before being president was authoring the 3 strikes laws, the mandatory minimums, stating that young black men are super predators. That was a neat phrase to coin. Prior to that, when they tried to desegregate schools, he was noted as saying that would turn schools into the jungle, and he didn't want his kids going to the jungle. The list actually is fairly extensive. I could look up more of his quotes if you want. I can't think of. I do agree with Nixon, although when you're stating that policy, it wasn't really openly just drugs policy. It was specifically targeted at cannabis, and which is what drug in the more anti-war section of the white population, and then, like you said, the black population. That was specifically with cannabis, and a lot of that was to do with the anti-war movement. It wasn't really as much, although I'm not stating they aren't blazing Nixon wasn't a blazing racist. I'm not at all saying that. I'm saying the objective of that was to try and lock up the anti-war movement. It wasn't really a racial motivator to the degree that you're trying to make it out. But once again, I would like to say, what president in modern history in your lifetime has openly said such racist things as Joe Biden, or passed such racist laws as Joe Biden, which wrecked the black community?
I don't think we've ever had a president as old as Joe Biden, but yeah, I mean, he's said some very racist, like he said some very racist things in the past. I agree, but has he said it while he was in the White House is the question, because if we're going off of racist statements or racist actions, then I have to question what Donald Trump chooses to do while sitting in that chair.
Which law has Donald Trump passed that even remotely comes close to the 3 strikes laws and the mandatory minimums and the young black super predators?
Nothing as far as tough on crime legislation, because he's a president that doesn't really pass legislation. He doesn't really do anything outside of executive orders. He did pass the big beautiful bill, but outside of that, he hasn't really passed anything. So yeah, he's not really a legislation president. He's an executive order president. Now, if you want to talk about his executive orders, he's tried to get through plenty of things, such as removing the birthright citizenship, which is,
I mean, what's that got to do with black people? Are we having a? I mean,
it was put there for black people.
The birthright citizen, that I do agree with that, but that is definitely not the context that it's getting used in today whatsoever. I agree that it was for slaves that had been brought over to give them citizenship. I fully understand why that was passed. The amendment was passed. That's not the context that it's being used today.
Well,
and the argument here is the racism being displayed in the government. And that's got nothing to do with immigrants.
What did he say? I mean, if we go about,
I'm waiting for something that Donald Trump did that's meaningful, that's truly meaningful, and against the black community specifically. When we know that what the 3 strikes laws, the mandatory minimums, and let's not forget the statement that young black men are super predators. They coined the phrase. They said it everywhere.
If we're going by statement,
I mean, this is only the 90s.
What did Donald Trump say about the Central Park 5? He took out a whole newspaper ad, right?
Yeah,
even after they was proven to be innocent, he still put out the fact that they were monsters, right?
Well, hold on. Did he say execute them or execute them if they're guilty?
I'm not sure the exact language. I know that people were reaching out to Trump, letting him know that these boys were innocent, and he still wanted to push the narrative that they were guilty.
Well, he didn't push the narrative.
But why are you assuming that he didn't believe they were guilty?
I'm sorry.
I'm still waiting for something that affected the whole black population, or for you to tell me something that Donald Trump said. And I'm not. Trust me, I'm not a Trump fan.
He's not. He's really not.
But you're invoking statements from Biden talking about super predators.
Right.
I'm telling you that Donald Trump in the past took out a whole campaign ad against the Central Park 5 after they were proven to be
5 people that he believed committed a crime, compared to claiming all young black men are super predators on national TV. Like, there was a whole campaign about it, bro. That's why they were able to pass those crazy laws.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but that's why I'm saying it's not necessarily fair, because
this is where my problem comes in, bro. When I say that the Democrats are secretly racist and openly gay, so the Democrats do the most racist, crazy shit. Like Joe Biden, what in his political history would tell you that black people should vote for them? And then dude comes out and says, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Why would that be? What would make you want as a black man to vote for a dude whose actual legislation history has been so damaging to the black community?
And Donald Trump's business history has been damaging to his employee. Now, it's not really.
I don't disagree. He's a horrible businessman. That's across the board. He fucks over every small business that works with him.
What about his discrimination housing lawsuit?
I don't know about his discrimination housing lawsuit. You're going to have to tell me specifically what that is.
1973, Donald Trump Management Incorporated. October 1973, alleging companies systematically denied apartments to black applicants. Donald Trump publicly denied it, but they ended up settling.
So do you think that Donald Trump himself ran that business? And this again isn't me excusing Donald Trump. Do you think Donald Trump himself, who at the time was a billionaire, was taking an
In
active hand
1973, he
in
wasn't a
that
billionaire. His dad, Fred Trump, was still the actual head of the business, but Donald Trump was seeing lower operations at that point in time.
Right. So he's running a multi-billion-dollar business. Do you think that he was actively looking at this one company, or should we say that most likely the person who was actively running it was making these rules?
No. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't even think their business was $1 billion business at that point in time. Not in 1974. But
yeah, it might not have been a bit. It might not have been $1 billion, but you can't deny it was a giant at least hundreds of millions of dollars. And that just like this is like saying Mark Cuban is making personal decisions in the businesses that he invests in.
This wasn't one or two occasions. This was systematic, and it was proven. I mean, they had proof, and they were ready to go to court with it.
At the time, what party was Donald Trump?
The party of green at that point in time. Like he was
a Democrat.
He was a Democrat back then.
I mean,
he was a Democrat all the way through the 90s. It was only when he ran. It was only when he ran that he became, quote unquote, a Republican. And the thing is, when he became a Republican, he literally like shaved off any and all idea of racism is what the claim was, right? So the idea of him coming into his run for presidency to be a Republican, he did not run on the platform of racism to be a Republican.
So why did he, the first black president this country has ever seen, what about his comments around Obama, his claim to fame to politics, how he actually got into politics, actually? Birtherism? We don't even talk about that anymore. What about that?
What is that?
The one president with a exotic name, Donald Trump, is the loudest voice claiming that he's not from America.
So Obama claimed Trump isn't from America?
No, Donald Trump claimed that Obama wasn't from America.
I mean, there were a lot of people claiming that Obama wasn't from America.
But like, Donald Trump was the loudest.
That's not. I mean, no, not my. There were some people around me that were louder than Donald Trump. Trust me.
But why would Donald Trump automatically assume that this guy's not from America?
It wasn't that he automatically assumed. It was that people were asking for something that he was unwilling to give for a long time.
He said several times that he was. Funny enough, he said that
did Barack give it up?
He would be 2 weeks away from proof. The same tactic that he uses today.
Did Barack give that proof immediately?
Immediately? No.
Yeah.
I mean, what president made their birth certificate?
I mean,
public?
I'm thinking of like I mean, every single one of them ought do that. Yeah, I would say every single one.
There was no precedent before
Democrat that. Also, because he was friends with Clinton.
Yeah, when a president runs for office, he ought produce his birth certificate. This is actually something that is normal.
What about tax returns?
I mean, there's no requirement for a president to show his tax returns, but there is a requirement for a president to be born in the United States.
But it's not a requirement.
No, absolutely, there is. There 100% is a requirement for a president to be born in the United States. Yes,
yeah, to be born in the be born in the United States, but to be president of the United States, you do not have to present your birth certificate out to the public.
Sir, how do you prove that you were born in the United States?
You give it to the government.
You get so the government is who?
The United States.
Which is who? Who are the United States? When you say those words, what does that mean?
It's the country of the United States. It's a conglomerate of states that came together under a federal agreement.
We the people?
Yeah.
the people, right? So all documents, I believe personally, every last one of them,
That's
short
your
of
belief,
personal,
there hasn't been any other standard
bro.
before this brown president to present a birth certificate.
Oh,
Don't you
absolutely,
see
it
that
always has
questionable?
been. What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about to present it publicly.
Presenting the proof that you're an American citizen.
Where was the demands to see the birth certificate of Bill Clinton?
If you would have demanded it, and everybody would have demanded it, and I'd have stood right next to you, brother. Yeah.
No, I'm saying where is the requirement? You're not understanding what I'm saying.
Look,
I understand that you
I
have
believe
to be
that
born
Barack
in this
Obama
country.
was born in this country. That's not a thing, right? I'm not worried about it personally.
What I'm saying is
you brought it up.
It's the idea that Trump chooses this president with, by his own words, a weird name, to assume that he wasn't. And then he tells the American, this is his claim to fame. This is how he got into politics. He actually told the American people that he had proof he was going to Hawaii to go grab the proof right now. And that was a bald-faced lie.
You know what else is a weird name? Roosevelt.
If you want to call it that. But that's
that
what
guy
I'm
was
saying
a Democrat.
That is a proof. That is one proof of him being racist right there, in my opinion.
You understand
because he said
that whole trope
was
given by the Democrat Party during the primary against Obama, right?
Saying
the whole trope what?
Against Obama's citizenship was the Democrats in the primary with Clinton and Obama.
Obama is a weird name, bro.
Do you think if the Democrats were scheming to not have Obama be a representative of the Democratic Party, that he would be a representative?
You don't remember the Clinton and the Democratic primary between them guys?
Yes, I understand.
That was ugly. That was fucking ugly. That's where that all started.
It got a little ugly, but that's what I'm saying. All close elections get ugly.
Little. That's where that whole trope started. And in fact, if I recall, fucking McCain fucking was one of the few that refused to partake in the whole game.
In the whole game? That's
after. With that whole game, and said, I will not fucking participate in that shit.
True, but Donald Trump was not
right, because that was the Clinton wing of the Democrat Party decided that was what they were going to try to use as leverage to beat Obama.
So you think Trump was doing that to support Democrats?
Yeah. Oh, he was great friends with the Clintons. That was all through the 80s and 90s. They were on TV together. They hung out together.
They went to Epstein Island together.
When Obama
went to Epstein Island together.
I'm talking about when Obama was sitting president. Do you think Trump was still with the Democrats?
Yes.
Because Trump was screaming birtherism while Obama was the president. Like, he was president for 8 years, and almost that whole 8 years, Trump was screaming from the rooftops that he wasn't American.
Yeah.
You realize Obama was like a chosen candidate.
And he was still a Democrat.
Chosen candidate, but the Democratic Party wanted Hillary?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, the Democratic Party would have much rather had Hillary than Obama.
Okay, so who chose Obama?
Well, they did what was necessary at the time.
No, I'm saying, you said he was chosen, so that means that he was picked from the start. So who chose him?
Do you suppose it might have been a choice between first black president, first female president? Somebody had to make the choice.
No, I'm
holy shit.
Yeah,
he's a fast talking motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know.
No, going on. It's fine. You've been lagging the whole time, and it finally
and then all of a sudden it decided to catch up all at once. It was like
he got what Gibbs got, bro, for real.
I gotta fix this. I'm probably gonna
can I because I know we've been drilling real talk for a minute. I wanted to ask Kraut a couple of questions. So in light of the understanding that Real Talk gave to me about the voters, not necessarily the leaders, but the people doing the voting. Okay. We know that on the Democratic side, a lot of Southern blacks moved north. Okay. This is just something that became common. because they were being treated very poorly in the South. Jim Crow laws were starting to come into effect in the early 1900s, and then throughout the 40s and 50s, a lot of racism happened. The 60s, of course, the civil rights movement happened. The federal government moved in, and do you see the connection with the voting for certain politicians and the way that those politicians legislate and rule on things and execute in the executive branch? Do you see the connection with the voters and their voting habits within the Republican Party in order to implement what they believe is, according to Real Talk and many people on the left, it seems to be a base of voters that, quite honestly, act racist? Do you see the connection with the voters?
Yeah, I can see the connection. And real quick, I just want to say another reason why the South started leaning towards the Republican Party, the GOP, is because they believed in pro-life, and the Democrats back then, and they still are pushing pro-choice. That's just another reason. I just wanted to give real quick. I wish I would have remembered that with the other examples I gave of why the South started leaning towards the GOP. But Clay, can I ask you to be more concise in the question you just asked me?
Yeah, sure. So trying to find it right here because I just had it pulled up. Particularly Nixon's platform of, I believe it was Law and Order he ran on as well.
It was.
That appeal to a certain base who wants laws implemented in a certain accord or a certain fashion, does that connect with certain voters who on the state level begin to legislate a certain way? Because, like, here's the thing, right? Let me give you an example. Let's say that I'm a base voter. I'm in the Democratic Party. I'm a Southern Dixiecrat, if you will. And I say to my neighbors, like, hey, there's this guy who's running on Law and Order. Now, we all know that the Democratic Party ain't voting the way that we want anymore, because they've pretty much implemented civil rights throughout the rest of the country. It's reached our state. The black voters that are from the North have essentially infiltrated the federal government, and now the Democratic Party is more or less compromised. But Law and Order still is a way to get certain laws and policies implemented as we move forward with keeping our block clean, if you will. Let's just call it that. We want to keep our city, quote unquote, clean. And the only way we can do that is if we vote this guy in who's for law and order, because law and order doesn't necessarily mean morality. As we know, certain laws can be absolutely immoral, so if a guy's saying law and order, well, okay, I'll just implement my own laws as long as he's in the executive branch. Do you see that connection now?
Are you asking that people started voting Republican because Reagan was going off Law and Order? Or are you insinuating he's saying it just for a minority, Law and Order against a certain minority?
Law and Order, as you pick and choose. You can pick and choose what Law and Order is, because here's the thing, right? We know that there's the federal code, we know that there's the state statute, and then we know that there's the ordinance. And the ordinance is like tickets and things, right? The statute is the actual laws that you will go to jail for. So if it's an ordinance in a certain county, right? The tickets will will be hammered on a certain block harder than a different block, because we're going to put a bunch of cops in a certain area, the inner city, rather than having them patrol out in the rural areas where there happens to be a certain demographic in each area. Do you understand now?
I do. And I guess they can correlate that, but I don't know exactly everything that Reagan ran on, but like I said, Nixon picked up some of Reagan's talking points, including law and order, but he also picked up during the strategy of smaller government. I believe tough on crime was one of them, while the law and order, I guess they would be the same thing. More of a Christian
It was
based.
just a Trojan horse for Bush, straight out.
Trojan horse. Thank you very much. Perfect, Ben. Yes. So, like, here's the thing. I understand that the politicians aren't openly racist, like Ben puts it, on the Republican side, but the base
The people
is.
are. Yeah, the people are.
Yeah,
Like,
unfortunately.
even Malcolm X said, like, look, Ben jokes, and I don't know about the fucking grinder shit, but Ben jokes.
Dude, that is an
you know,
actual
Repu-
fact. When the Republican National Convention,
I
whatever
believe it.
town it's in, grinder numbers go off the chain. That is
I
an
believe it.
actual legitimate fact.
Where are you getting the statistics from?
Republicans are
I will
openly
get
racist,
it for you, Ant.
and liberals are closeted racist. And even Malcolm X said, "Beware the liberal white
My
man.
phone is dead right now.
They're not your fucking friend." I'm not going to deny that you might have some politicians in the Republican Party that are racist, and obviously they're not going to come out right and say it, because that's going to destroy the voter bloc. But I believe 80 or 90% of Republican voters will tell you they only like white people, where probably 90% of liberals will tell you, even if they don't like black people, they'll say they like black people. Honestly, I think the only openly racist Democrats are fucking union workers. They'll tell you straight up. But besides that, liberals are fucking, they won't admit to them being racist. They're a snake in the fucking grass, bro.
Well, I do have a question from pilled.net from Salty Old Fart.
Ooh, what's up, Santa?
He would like to know, if Trump was historically a Democrat, what did he know about Democrats when he ran as a Republican and scared the Dems?
Well, what he did know was that he stated, and this was in an interview while he was hanging out with Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. He said, if I was ever going to run as a president, I would run as a Republican. I would just do it as a businessman and a Christian, and everybody would vote for me. Fucker said that and then did it. And everybody's like, oh, he's a Republican. He like.
Also, I got to
is the
point
leader
out,
of the Republican Party.
I
Hold
gotta
on one
point out-
second. Donald, do you have a thought on that?
I mean, he became the leader of the Republican Party the same way that, other, leaders become part of the Republican Party. He led into some of their interests. He talked about things that they liked, including, saying inflammatory things against immigrants and other people that doesn't look American or have names that are American. So, yeah, I mean, he just fed into some of the vices of some of the more extreme voters.
So I have a question. What exactly is it about the Republican platform itself that is inherently racist?
Well, hold on, Ant. Let's finish that. Anybody have any other thoughts on the question from pilled.net?
And here you go, Ant. Here is data from the RNC convention reveals a substantial documented surge in local Grinder app usage and traffic. This recurring spike, often dubbed the Grinder Super Bowl on social media.
Okay, that's just
From
something
Facebook.
saying it's happening, and the source is Facebook. Like, what's an actual source for the statistics?
Oh, let's see here.
There we go. It was one in 2016, then another 8 years later.
2024.
I mean,
Milwaukee RNC, the 2016 RNC.
I would expect Facebook definitely to have that data, though. In all seriousness,
I wouldn't
Here-
trust. Some,
Let's
well,
see
I'd have to see
here.
where
We got
the-
it
they're
on
getting the
numerous. We
Facebook.
got it on a bunch of news sources, quite a few news sources, including
iHeart.
I don't know if I'd call.
I thought
Vice or-
Grindr themselves posted that information.
I also thought that that's where it originally
Vice.
came from.
Even so, even if it's true, Ant, let them have it. Like it doesn't
It's-
matter at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, it's one of these things. It's like correlation is not causation. It's like, okay, great, you have a correlation. You showed it 2 years.
It's a joke. It's a joke, though, Ant. You're like trying to like fucking
Except
deeply.
I keep
inspect a
hearing it
joke.
stated like it's a fact. I mean, it's
But
a
it
joke.
is a
That
fact.
is a
That-
fact. That's part
well,
of the joke. That is a
the-
fact. It's part of the joke. It doesn't really necessarily mean I'm being scientific. It's a joke, bro.
Well,
Well-
to be fair, Ant, the RNC happens. Well, that was an 8-year gap because of presidential elections, right?
Okay, but there's been presidential elections in years between 2020.
Yeah, but they didn't have the RNC presidential convention because there wasn't a primary that year.
Are you proving the
I don't know if
rule?
they don't
Ant?
have a. Do they not have a convention anyways? I thought they still had like
Ant.
a rally for funding.
Are you proving the rule by making sure that we understand that they're closeted?
I don't care one way or the
Ant
other. I'm
has
just
a
curious,
lovely
like,
wife.
where this comes from.
Ant has a
Because-
lovely wife.
Well,
And
that don't
because-
mean shit. Look
Because
at
never
McCready.
and where it comes from, Ant, is Democrats don't get busted for being secretly gay, but
But they
Republicans
usually
do
don't try
on
to
a
make it a secret.
fairly regular basis. So then the easy joke is that Democrats are openly gay and secretly racist because you got Joe Biden and people like that still doing crazy racist shit. And then the Republicans are openly racist and secretly gay. It's a joke, bro. It's not even my joke. It's Kurt Metzger's.
Yeah, I just don't think it's that funny.
Well, I
that's,
do.
That's your problem, not ours.
It,
I
okay,
think
fair.
it's kind
I'm
of
just
funny.
saying, it's like as a joke. It just where's the punchline? You know, it's got a setup, but the punchline's kind of meh.
Look, I
So then I guess the
you're
panel
saying
would
You're
agree.
gay, and it's like cool. Welcome to the internet 30 years ago.
Like, dude,
So
the Democrat Party doesn't have people like Denny Hasser who get caught in an entire ring of PDF
No,
files
they have people
with young
getting
boys. They
filming
do that
themselves
shit
having
openly, right?
butt sex on the Senate floor.
Like
You
the
know,
Democrats do it openly, right? But the Republicans regularly get busted for doing this kind of
right,
shit,
Yeah, but all
right? Secretly.
Okay. That's because there's a lot of conservatives, and a lot of conservatives are Christians.
So,
and
so
not
the
well looked
Republicans are
upon to
also
be
just as
homosexual
gay,
in
but
those
they're
groups.
secretive about it, right?
But there are
You can
openly
build
gay
100
Republicans.
bridges, but you suck one dick.
That's right.
I know, right?
You're gay. No, it's. I think this was from that fat comedian guy, where you can paint 100 pictures, but you might not be an artist. You suck one dick, and you're automatically gay.
Yeah.
Um,
Your qualifications have now been met. That it's real low bar on the qualifications on that one.
Well, that's the thing, though. Is that's a matter of sexual orientation. If you're forced into giving fellatio to someone of the same sex,
Well,
that don't
forced.
make you homosexual. That just
Forced,
means you have a
that's
survival instinct.
Yeah.
So we're all in agreement, though, when it comes to the voters, that it seems to be obvious that there's definitely a switch that happened, that those Southern Dixiecrats preferred law and order over the thing that was happening on the left, which was the civil rights.
So I assume you're asking me, and I'll answer your question in two parts. I have never denied that racist people from the South switch over to the Republican Party. My two things are: there's no evidence to just suggest they did that because they're racist. Because if we got to follow, let's say the party switch actually happened, why would racist Democrats go to the Republican Party, who at that time were the racists? That shit does not compute.
So law and order, okay? Remember, law and order doesn't necessarily mean morality, right? So if I'm a racist son of a bitch and you tell me that I have governorship over this swath of land, okay? I have governorship over this swath of land, but you're going to sit at the top as king. I'm the racist son of a bitch, right? You say, as long as you vote for me. I say, yes, I vote for you. You are my king. I'm the racist son of a bitch. I'm going to make the ordinances, and I'm going to send people to the... Go ahead.
I just want to make it a little bit more direct. Like, imagine the whole media apparatus labeling every time you heard the word criminal, every time you heard the word thug, every time you heard the word vagrant, it was an image of somebody that looked like me. So every time you seen or heard that word, the first thing that popped in your head was somebody that didn't look necessarily like you. When a politician...
hold on, I gotta interrupt you. Because that's not fucking true. No, it's not fucking true.
So in 70s,
the
80s,
first person,
every time you seen
the first person that comes into my mind right now that does not look like you is a president of the United States. What did you just say?
Hold on.
Criminal.
Spin. Stop. Go ahead, Donald. Stop.
I'm just saying there were certain images put out there by entities like the CIA and stuff like that on purpose, because they also put out images of the hippies and stuff like that and put negative connotations to the hippies too. But they also targeted black individuals and added that label onto them on purpose because they knew that they had this plan to add that label and put that onto a political platform. So when they say tough on crime, we're going to lock up these thugs. Come on,
right?
Bro.
So even just having that mustache right there, Spin, right, and having the glasses could label you as someone less desirable on a platform, right? Because you're look, and you roll around too. That also, right? The idea of you being othered because of just simple differences. And not necessarily iniquities, or disabilities, but because you look different. So what Real Talk is talking about is literally just the fact that I've got long hair. I would be in the 70s portrayed as probably a trafficker. I would be like labeled enemy number one because I would look like a trafficker. So would Ben. So would Kraut right now because he's got a beard. Just the beard, right? The mustache. Having a mustache was taboo back in the 70s. Now we're in 2026.
Unless you're a porn star.
It should have been taboo.
I think the beards are coming back. I'm happy that the country's coming around on that. But particularly deeply melanated skin in the 70s and in the 80s, and then especially because when it and this is just true story here. You look at NWA, right, and why that even got started in the rap industry, and why that even got started because specific individuals saw that this was not just like the whole badass image, right, which I think was growing in popularity in of itself, but particularly because it was rebellious. It was deemed as rebellious, not just because it was like thuggery, but because of a particular demographic. It was seen as rebellious. And why? If you look at somebody and you say, that's the image of rebellion, what are you doing? You're literally othering them.
Yeah, I just got through having this conversation with a friend of mine. We went from the 60s. I look at news videos from the 60s and stuff, and I'm amazed by how many of my black leaders are in these news on prime time, having debates, political debates about societal factors and stuff like that. I'm seeing black people in the 60s having these debates, and I fast forward to like 80, like the NWA era. The only representation that I see is a negative connotation, and I think that was planned and on purpose.
You don't think that the NWA was also planned and on purpose?
Yes, I
said
do.
yeah.
And I think certain aspects. I think the certain aspects of hip hop was put in front of a lot of people for a reason. Now,
Manufactured.
I think the message of NWA and what they got together to actually do was overall a positive message, because all they want to do is tell their story and put it out there to the world, and just tell the reality of the hood at that time.
You can't assume that in any way. This was something that was put into the black community in order to put the black community down 100%.
Yeah,
they made
for sure.
This was a tail wagging the dog situation. This wasn't a general black community situation. This was a fucking Southern California, which it's still just an absolute shithole dump, and it's not just the black people, it's everybody. You don't go to fucking Oakland for a reason. You don't go to Compton for a reason.
Yeah.
That's hard to say because
from New York.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's debatable, but hip hop started in New York and it made it over to the West Coast some type of way, right? So it was kind of growing in the black
hip hop as compared to gangster rap. Gangster rap started in California. I'm old enough, bro, and I come from a mixed family. My family listened to fucking Bobby Brown and hip hop and all that kind of shit. That was entirely different. Even when it moved up to guys like Tone Loc and Young MC, you can't fucking compare Mama Said Knock You Out with fucking gangster rap.
Well, gangster rap, if I'm correct, it was started in Compton, California.
Yeah, it was later. Rap started much sooner than gangster rap.
It depends on what you want to call gangster rap, because if it's just a gangster rapping, then
we're talking about it went from
MC like Hammer.
Mama said
gangster rap.
Mama said knock you out and lyrics like that. They still had shit in them. Then all of a sudden it went to fucking 2 Live Crew and Eazy-E and NWA and shit. These were nothing like that. It's all about killing and slinging drugs and sleeping with every girl you can. It was an entire shift of the culture, and you saw the culture itself follow that propaganda.
Yes, and that shift kind of collaborated with the introduction of a certain Rocky material, and
yes, I was just in
high pressured,
which also was the government.
And high pressured metal thingies that hurt people from a distance.
Yes.
Those were two things that were introduced to these communities, I think, around the same era, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, no. Okay. So if you look at your history, bro, the way it worked was before that, like the Black Panthers, they always were armed, but they were smart about it, and they got tricked into going into an incorrect area armed in the courtrooms. They tricked them to going into this area armed that they shouldn't have been in armed. It was not their fault. So the crack epidemic was set into place in order to disempower communities that were starting to empower themselves 100%. And all that was flushed through Mena, Arkansas, through Bill Clinton under his governorship, and all the things that happened there. It was wonderful, right?
Well, I'm not sure about the Bill Clinton connection, but
I don't know about it.
Where did you think the cocaine came from?
What you say?
It was
Bolivia, Colombia.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It all came from
Mena, what I read,
they made a movie about it. It had Tom Cruise. I don't know why everybody acts like.
They made a movie about it. Must be true. So Star Wars is.
Well, no, it was already true. It's just the fact that I would think that y'all would have fucking heard about it since it's been a movie about it. Tom Cruise.
I've heard about it.
The rest of us knew about that long ago.
So let me just be very clear.
Okay.
Let me be very clear about gangster rap. In 1988, NWA out of Oakland, California was found. And their rise was straight out of Compton.
It will never not be. Oh, sorry.
BTH, or Bone Thugs and Harmony, was founded in Cleveland, Ohio, and then transitioned to LA. And the other notable was Young Guns. They were founded in 1998, and many of the reference or fictional affiliations, quote unquote, to C or B.
Do we really have a
It
problem?
will never
with
not
Bone
be
Thugs and
funny
Harmony?
to me that the very first rap performance on MTV was by a white woman.
Yeah, I'm not
And here's the
surprised.
funny part. Ice-T was early West Coast artist who popularized the gangsta label in the 1980s.
Yeah, that was Colors when he dropped, that song Colors. And
I remember that.
That was a big
And I just
track
want to touch on
in New York.
something.
What movie
Ben-
did they use that for? Or was
Barry
that the name of the
Seal.
movie?
I know exactly what the fuck you're
was it,
talking about. He played. It was under
Boys in
Reagan.
the Hood?
Maybe that was it. Sorry, Jody, I didn't mean to talk over you.
Yes, Raised in the Hood.
Raised in the Hood.
But do we really have a problem with Bone Thugs and Harmony over here? Like, I don't think they're that.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! It's the first of the month.
Dude,
Come on.
what I'm saying, bro, is that everything we're talking about right now is all propaganda that the government pushes through the system, and all the choices that each of these cultures make and the little clashes that they have and all of this bullshit, all of it was pushed every single time. Like I said, when you had part of it with the Nixon thing, Nixon said the anti-war movement was very heavy and they needed to get rid of the anti-war figures. So they said if we heavily criminalize cannabis, then we can go ahead and turn the populace against the N-words and the hippies or the cannabis users, and we can highly criminalize it and get them put away and take away their voting. So that way the war candidates are going to be able to win. All of these things are pushed, and the rap thing was pushed inorganically into the black community. And suddenly most of the black community did not act that way. That was something in an isolated area. And if you still go to those shitholes like Oakland, it's still a just dump in an isolated area.
Cypress
I hear you,
Hill.
but I don't think hip hop itself was created or I think it was.
Do you think there's any such thing as a mainstream organic artist, or do you think that the record labels and the radio stations are the ones that make people a hit?
Little from column A, a little from column B.
Oh, of course, it's got to be acceptable. Although there's the whole debate that things are 3 notes now for a reason, and everything's repetitive for a reason. Because it's acceptable range.
Ed Sheeran proved that. Ed Sheeran proved that. He got sued and then proved it on stage that those 3 chords are literally every pop song.
Yeah. And they're like,
Well, I
so
mean,
it could be just garbage, and people are like, oh, that's the good stuff.
Here's a strange fact. Cypress Hill.
Okay, don't talk shit about Cypress Hill though.
I'm not talking shit. It was 2 white guys.
Yeah. And
they were founded in Southgate. I don't know where the hell that is, California.
Southgate.
Well, here's the thing, Spin, on that, right? So that's
San Francisco.
That's exactly what I was saying earlier about how the othering happens, right? It's not that every single black man is the problem. It's that anything other than that prim and proper.
No, it's in Los Angeles.
And so, look, primarily the focus is what? And then you have secondary focus. If you are racist minded, right? Obviously, you don't want what's obvious. You don't want that there. But then there's also any connection, anybody who's agreeing that that should be there. So the long-haired hippie guy saying, you know what? I got some black friends who I really don't want to fucking see anything bad happen to them. You know, that's also I've got to go too.
True.
And it's still racism.
And that's what I'm saying. In today's date, nobody is being obviously racist. It's, you have to look at some of the, you have to always read in between the lines, especially where I come from. It's not like they just gonna just say it right in front of me or anything like that, but they do make these little actions. Or back when I have mixed kids, back when I was dating interracially, it would be in a state like Southern Mississippi, it was pretty obvious at that point when I would go around. So yeah.
So I put this super chat up on the screen.
Fucking ain't right, Lyndon.
And I'd like to have the panel's thoughts, because we are talking about politics and propaganda and stuff like that. So I'm going to start off.
Also,
with,
Donald, I apologize. I don't know how I got back onto you. I let Clay dig into Kraut, and then it somehow moved back to you. And Kraut, I got something for you.
We'll put a pin in it for just a second. Kraut, Lyndon Ford 25 says music is used to program people just like the TV is. Do you have a response? Yes or no?
Yeah, I do actually. It's one of the reasons why I got a problem with Led Zeppelin being my favorite band, because there's definitely some subliminal shit of rock music. Whether or not it's Satanism, that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, music definitely has a program aspect to it, like obey me type shit, like they live type thing. You know, if anybody ever seen that movie with Roddy Piper, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Real talk.
The Rowdy.
Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think music and media in general can be used to manipulate and put certain thoughts into people's heads, of course. And I think that is happening specifically in some areas of my community and others. So yeah, I can agree with that, including the TV thing.
Mr. Balderson?
That is the only thing that music and mainstream music and mainstream TV are allotted. The only resurgence that we've seen in real music and real entertainment has been since the internet, where people who can actually get past the gatekeepers and do things without being the person or in the in club, that those people can actually be heard. A good example would be like Oliver Anthony, where this is just a little yutz that nobody's ever heard of, that's doing real simple music and did a heartfelt song about the world that they live in, and a bunch of people resonated with it, and the dude took off, even though he was not allowed on the radio stations and in the places. That's only in today's world that can happen. But historically, anything in the actual mainstream media, if you're not spitting their propaganda, it's been proven over and over again. They will drum you right out of the fucking business. You don't get to be on their movie sets if you're not pushing their propagandas. And that's the way that this has always worked. So this is also why I don't listen to that crap. And it's not just your community. It's not just your community, Donald. This goes into like, you think like that small town song where try that in a small town shit. Like shit like that's not also propaganda to try and drum up the fucking war between the different classes and between the fucking Democrats and Republicans and bullshit like that. It all is. If it's in the mainstream, it's propaganda meant to push you.
Sure. Mr. Pero, any thoughts?
Well, absolutely. I think frequencies do a lot. So much so that I've got a frequency wave generator sitting right here on my desk that I use regularly. All kinds of frequencies you can use to in relations to health issues. Your music scale, the music skill isn't all is got added note to it. In reality, real music doesn't hold all of the frequencies that we use in music.
Sure.
Things like
Mr.
that.
Clay.
So there are a lot of frequencies we need to pay attention to, and music is one of them. I agree.
Thank you, Mr. Perro. Mr. Clay.
Yeah, so I mean, oh my goodness. Yeah, this is philosophy right here. Okay. Music pertaining to the muse. That's what it means. So if you understand what a muse is, you really understand what philosophy. So goodness. They used to call them the band of merry men. They'd come to your town. Nowadays they call them the troubadour or Ed Sheeran, for that matter. And they'd come to your town and they would play for you, and they'd play a beautiful melody, and you would pay them, and you'd pay them, and you'd pay them, and throw more money on the stage, and then they would leave, and then you would be sitting there all in your emotions, and then you'd look down and you'd have no food, you'd have no money in your pockets, and you've been taken, and you are a broke fool now. But that is the way of the world. And this is exactly what music is meant to do. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Ant.
So now I know two things about Clay. He hates boobies and he hates music.
What?
The time that you flipped out about breastfeeding in public.
When I said that my woman shouldn't be showing other men her titties. Yeah.
It's Clay. It's just a joke.
It's weird.
Oh, now Ant gets jokes.
Yeah, Ant can create.
You would rather,
Of course, I get jokes. Just,
you would
not
rather
everything
your
okay.
kid
He can
Naughty.
take a joke, but he can't. Yeah, okay, yeah. You can take a dick though too, can't you?
Oh my God!
Tell me about that. I have no experience.
Well, hey, look, man, you're the one not talking about no titties. But yeah, the music.
No, I'm not.
Go ahead. No, I love. I love music.
Of course, music is inspiring. That can be a good way to deliver a message to people. But as far as some sort of secret mind control programming through the music, that's just paranoid nonsense. Sorry.
And Mr. Jody.
Fucking El Perro killing me, bro.
So I'm not gonna go deep the way that Balderson and Clay went. I definitely
Such
do.
to be your wife.
I definitely believe that there's vibrations to certain music. Like when you're feeling sad, you want to listen to sad music, right? When you're happy, you want to listen to happy music. When you're working out, you want to get fucking pumped up. Do I think that there's some sort of programming to that? I think it's more biological than some systematic,
Gotcha, bitch.
I don't know, conspiracy that is programming your mind. I think it's more your body is reacting to the vibrations of the music and your emotions. And that's all I got.
Ant's over there dancing to what you were saying. It's music to his ears.
And whoever said, and fuck you, Spin. You fucking put on that, you shaved your head just for this fucking chat.
Hey, I've been meaning to ask you guys because I know I forgot I didn't get an answer the last time I was on a panel like this with you guys. I been meaning to look this up. Donald Trump is passing something or is trying to implement something where the government can prevent a crime before it happens. I've been seeing that float around some places.
Goddamn pre-crime. That
is that a real thing?
So bad, dude.
No.
They've been flirting with pre-crime for a while, and with him coupled with Palantir and with things like the flock cameras and shit. Oh yeah. All about pre-crime, dude. All about
fucking scary.
I've just been hearing like words of that kind of floating around, but I haven't seen anything like presented in Congress or anything like that. So I'm just like, is there an executive order that's about to flop on the ground, or
Wouldn't matter if there was, because there's no laws for arresting people that the probability says may commit a crime in the future. Like the laws don't support that at all. So the executive branch issuing an order to executive agencies to enforce a non-existent law will accomplish nothing.
You know,
Not
Ben
to,
is going to kill me.
Not to skirt, but I've been
Ben is
waiting,
gonna kill
and
me.
I'm. Oh God.
You know, Ben, you have fucked with me yesterday pretty hard, put real bad fucking images in my head. And today
Listen,
you
it is
busting
not
my
my fault that
balls.
the Catholic fucking the high 2D2 Catholic guy was kissing the skull as he put it in the statue and then parading it in front of the people. My people didn't do that.
So for putting bad images
weirder
and
stuff.
fucking with me and in my head, we're gonna take a grift break.
God damn it.
We are taking a grift break.
None paid.
Wrong channel, Nunny. Wrong channel.
You don't even have people over there. You gotta get people over there that are donating.
Well, if I could do a grift break and you'd shut up, I'll get people over there. Gentlemen.
Before your grift break, here's somebody that already paid money. Nunny, without being strong-armed, gave $5, said, I don't care. The best music is from the movie Oh Brother. That was a great fucking music in that movie. Oh Brother, where art thou? A man of constant sorrow and in the jailhouse now.
I did like the In the Jailhouse Now rendition. The Man of Constant Sorrow got played out. It was like that Nelly and Tim McGraw song that got played over and over again, and literally like for the next 6 months that song played. But Sorrow, Man of Sorrow was literally just like the same thing over and over again, over and over. I hated that song now.
So since we've been streaming for 2 hours, thank you, Nunny. Wrong channel, but we'll forgive you this time. And the only way I can get back at Mr. Balderson is to do a grift break.
On the perfectly right channel. Don't listen to this.
Mr. Kraut, tell them what these fuckers need to do or we're going to go away.
Yeah, donate the money. I think we're having a good time. Plus, after the grift, Ben is going to dig into me, and I'm eager to see if I have an answer for Ben. He's quite educated, though I have realized he's been wrong about 1 or 2, 3 times. But yeah, donate some bread. I already donated before the stream even started because I was late. Motherfuckers are bleeding me dry, man. Blood, sweat, tears every fucking day. Donate the money.
Donald, tell them what they need to do.
Donate the money. My bad. My camera ain't up right now, but yeah, support the stream. Do whatever you can to support these guys.
Appreciate it. El Perro, help me out, man.
Man, you guys better donate, help these guys out. Otherwise, I'm calling ICE, and you know what ICE does. They don't care if you're American or not. You know what I'm saying?
Mr. Clay, they're making the angry American the angry American.
Sir, that is not their problem. That is your problem. But anyway, yeah, Spin just got monetized, guys. In all seriousness, Venmo, Cash App, that works better, but he did just get monetized. So if you would like to continue to support the show, Spin's channel, Spin City News, is the place to do the dono. Because if you do not, then we will go away. And this was actually a decent conversation up here so far. I think the guys did okay with the debate. Okay. Obviously we can all use some improvement. Pay for my Spurg.
Oh Lord. Aunt. Oh, Aunt. Help me.
Do you see all these little mouths that have to feed me? You could be one of them, bringing me little morsels of donations for Spin, so that he keeps doing shows. He keeps inviting me on to torture Clay and others. Or you could even just pay to have. Oh,
Oops, sorry.
You're fine. I was just gonna say, or you could just pay to have me put in the back for a few minutes to get sick of my shit.
Ant bites.
And Jody, tell these fuckers what they need to do.
Yeah, all jokes aside, seriously, guys. Ben, for Spin. This is a big deal. I know all you guys are probably on other channels, but go follow him and send some donos for only 69 cents a month. You can become a member.
99 cents, dumbass. And Mr. Balder said, well, you know what? I'm skipping you because I know what you're going to do. Well, fuck it. Do it.
You know, it is Spins. He's dying to get his first dono, his first super chat. I get it. I'll forgive him for this nonsense this time. He's dying to get it. He should get to see that on his thing. That'd be nice for him. Don't let him try and fool you into thinking that donating to me is not going to be beneficial for it and keep the show going, though. He's crazy, he's being cracked about that. But somebody somewhere should definitely give him throw some shekels at him. He can't duck or weave very well. You'll be able to hit him. He's in a wheelchair.
Uh-oh, we lost real talk.
What if instead of shekels, we just put like bottles all around his wheelchair and give them rings?
So I am at 60.
You know what? Somebody pay $1 so I could put his ass in the back.
I'm at 16% on my laptop. So Ben, I know you had a question for me. Hopefully, I can give you a correct answer. That
Plug it
goes
in.
into my world frame.
Plug it
Plug it in.
Yeah, what are you doing having the primary person in the debate and then you're trying to not plug your shit in? What the fuck are we doing right now?
Oh, we've been
Rookie
streaming
hour right here?
No, we've been streaming.
He's the New Jersey reject. They rejected his application for power in his house.
You're not even in gauntlet time yet. What the fuck you think you're doing?
All right, well, I'll join.
You don't have plugins out there in your house in the city?
I'll join back up on my phone when my laptop guy dies. Go ahead and ask you my
Wait a minute. He has to go sit in his car so he can charge his laptop because they cut his power off. You know, half of New Jersey rejects, they get cut off the grid. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you were there.
You don't think that Republican platitudes of pull yourself up by the bootstraps and things like that and trying to pull the social safety nets away from those communities without then providing them with the ability to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, i.e., if you've ever been down to any hood or ghetto or any low income neighborhood, you'll find that there isn't ready work around that neighborhood. Those are usually the inner city for a reason, and it's the outer city is where the good manufacturing jobs are. All those kind of things are all almost exclusively outside of the city. So when the Republicans are claiming that they're doing okay for these people, do you find it a problem that they don't provide the jobs to let these people actually do the things they tell them that they should do?
You're talking about these urban centers that have been under Democrat leadership for the better part of a century?
I wasn't talking to you, Ant.
Yeah, well,
I wasn't talking to Donald either.
Yeah, I believe that is a problem, but Ant actually just brought up a good point. I actually got notes on that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we should definitely have jobs available for every type of American. But that's why, and I think like 20 or 30% of conservatives do have some socialist ideas, like they believe in safety nets, like welfare and things like that, which again is a more left-leaning idea because you can only get that through social democracy that raises taxes for that exact reason. So it's not like all conservatives don't believe in things like that. But yeah, we should definitely have jobs for all types of communities, and the way we do that is by supporting local businesses and buying domestically, so the money stays in it. I don't know how to answer the question any better than that. I don't know if
No, you did good.
history.
You did good,
Yeah,
and I want to say before you bail like real fucking early on your on your second debate, the that you came much more well prepared, and you actually had an affirmative position this time, as opposed to last time you came in and under the affirmative, and then you're like, "Give me some things to fight," like, and you didn't lay your case out. This time you had a case to lay out, and I noticed.
No, I appreciate that.
Yes,
Well,
he
yeah,
did.
you
Did very
I
well,
got a
and you
question.
did your
I got a
homework like
question
I
before.
told you to do.
yeah, you gave me
I
some.
told
got a
hey
question
Ben,
for
I
him
told
before.
him you better do your homework.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, now, the one thing I would say is better memorize it. The bait's going to come off more smoothly if you, and this was actually to both of you. It's that if it would come off more smoothly if you actually had your positions readily on the top of your head. Find that you got to look at something to check things. Like the other day against my debate with Clay, there's no way I can memorize what dates each of those books. I know what the books are. I've read all of them, but could I memorize what year they came out and all this different shit in what region? No. Like, so I wrote that kind of thing down, but then all I'm doing is glancing at my notes. I'm not sitting there for a minute going digging through things. So have it more readily memorized next time.
Yeah.
It would be my only recommendation.
Yeah, and I get that. And when me and Spin finally had our debate on tariffs, yeah, I'll definitely have that because tariffs and international trade are probably my strongest points. And I've been reading about tariffs for like the last 4 or 5 years because I started reading about them when Trump mentioned them for his second term. I know he did them in his first term, but back in his first term, I really didn't pay attention to politics. I was just starting to get in them. I didn't even vote for that fucker. First time I ever voted for Trump was the 2020 or the 2019 or whenever the fuck it was. I get confused with the election years, like how seasons go, how they go into one year to
2016.
pass the other.
Well, it's an oddity for a president to
No,
have
his second
lost
run.
at the incumbent and then won again after the incumbent. After that, it's a pretty odd thing to happen.
Yeah, I think that only happened 2 or 3 times when it comes to presidents. I think it only
I was
happened
thinking it was once. I can think of once, but I don't know if it
I got-
happened more than that.
Can I ask
I
a
looked
question?
it up. It's
Can I ask
rare,
a
but it's
question
often-
before he leaves? It's
Well, I'm
holding.
coming back
Ben,
to myself.
speaking of your debate with Clay, y'all didn't even hit everything with when you and
I was
Clay
not
did
on
the
the
debate.
I was not on the affirmative, sir.
Can I ask Kraut a question before he leaves?
Go ahead, brother.
all your
But
fault,
I'm
but go
coming
ahead,
back
buddy.
on my cell phone. But go ahead.
Why didn't you mention Senator Byrd?
I don't need to mention Senator Berg. He was a former KKK member, and when he tried to join the GOP, they shut that motherfucker down. I think that's
He was
common knowledge.
He was the longest serving senator in West Virginia history, and he never switched parties.
Yeah, no, like I said, well, he tried to, but the GOP shut him the fuck down. I think everybody knows that. So there really was no point of bringing him up. I tell you who I will bring up because I forgot to during the actual debate, which I think is another reason why people believe in this myth, is because of Barry Goldwater. He was
You
a
can't call it a
Republican.
myth if you just conceded that it was true.
I never conceded it was true. It is a myth.
But you did concede to me that it was true when I asked you about those voters.
Have I ever said voters turning to a different party was a myth? Or did I say that the politician ideology was a myth, that they switch?
So I went down. I mean, could do it again. I could go down the logic train again.
Hold up. Well, let me say my point, and then I'll let you go on your little Spurge tangent. Barry Goldwater. Barry Goldwater was a Republican that supported the 57 and the 60 Civil Rights Act. He also helped desegregate, I forget what it was, like the I forget. He was for desegregation, and him supporting the 57 and 60 Act would support that. Now, the reason why he turned down the 64 is because he felt it was overreach on the federal government. He thought it would give the government too much power, and most conservatives and Republicans believe in small government. Again, like I mentioned 10 times, that's one of the reasons why the Southern strategy pulled in Democratic voters from the South, because one of their stands on that was smaller government. But that's somebody who I meant to bring up during the debate. It just slipped my mind. But go ahead, Clay.
Don't worry, I'm gonna fuck you real fast.
Buy me dinner, motherfucker.
Fuck that. I don't buy hoes dinner.
Why are you all on about fucking guys tonight, Clay?
You want to find out?
I really don't.
Don't ask.
Go ahead, Clay.
Don't ask. We won't tell.
I did, sir. Why did I know that was the next
You don't. Sorry.
So, would you say that voters who want specific laws implemented, would vote for the party that states that we're going to be about that law and order? And if the other party is saying we're going to, basically be kind of fancy free and we're not really going to do much in the way of, creating the laws or being about law and order, that party, those voters wouldn't vote for that party. Instead, they would vote. Hold on. Actually, let me ask you this question. Who controls the party?
Who runs Bartertown?
What do you mean, who controls the party?
Perfect, Ben. Who controls the party? So is it those people at the top, or is it the voter base?
Oh, man, I would want to say the voter base, because that's how it should be. But we don't have that kind of money to control the party how we should be controlling it and electing our officials. Money is what gets them elected.
So you'd say that if the voters don't show up to the voting block, that the party has no power?
I would like to assume so, but I would like to answer your original question, but I can actually cut it down real smooth. And I think I asked Real Talk during the actual debate. Do you think the Southern Democrats only joined the GOP because of law and order?
Absolutely. Yeah, those
No.
Dixiecrats. Yeah, absolutely. Well, why? Okay, then why
They joined
did
for
they join
numerous
it?
reasons.
So then why
Okay.
why did they join it?
I feel like a broken record here. Okay, so the Democrats, especially the Northern Democrats, were leaning into Marxist theory, bigger government, and progressiveness, where
No,
the GOP. Yeah, that's a fact, bro. Look it up.
Not the Northern Democrats. Why did
Hold on. I'm
Southern
getting there, Clay.
Democrats?
I'm getting there. Now, the GOP wasn't just running off of law and order. They were running off of smaller government. They were running off economics, like, the working class individuals. They were running off of religious people, whether that be Christians or evangelicals. And they were running off of pro-life, just to name a few off the top of my head. Like Ben said, I really need to hone down without looking at my notes. Those are 4 things right there that the Republicans ran off of. And I mentioned 2 or 3 things that the Democrats ran off of that were making the Southern Democrats draw away from that party. I never said there weren't racist Democrats that joined the Republican Party.
So the Southern Democrats went to the Republican Party because they knew that the Democratic Party was not for them.
The Democratic Party started changing their political affiliation.
Their base,
or not
right.
they started changing their ideology.
Yeah, their platform. Right, their platform changed, whereas the Republicans aligned with at least a portion of their platforms.
Well, no, you're trying to insinuate that the switch happened. The switch didn't happen.
So then why did they join the Republican Party?
Originally because of Johnson, but I already stated he was probably under pressure because of Barry Goldwater.
You're missing what you're saying. You're literally saying exactly
No,
what I'm
no,
pointing out.
you're trying to
Hold on,
indicate
Kraut.
because
Hold on, Kraut.
voters switch
Hold on, Kraut.
parties. that the
You
parties
stated
split.
that the Southern Democrats joined for X reason. What reason was that?
Oh, dude, I feel like a broken record here. Economics, religion, pro-life, and law and
So
order.
the racist Southern Democrats joined the Republican Party.
All of them?
For what reason?
All of them?
Whether it was all of them or not, but they definitely joined. How can you miss this? It's literally the forest is right here, and you see trees.
Hold on. I never said they didn't join, Clay. But the prompt. What's the
There
prompt?
it is. You just
prompt?
defeated yourself in the prompt. The Democratic and Republican Party switch is a myth. That is not true. That is a false statement according to your own words right now. Those
no. Hold up, like
voters.
So by your logic, you would have to say
it's your
that
logic.
the Republicans of today were the Democrats of yesterday that supported segregation and Jim Crow laws. Is that what you're saying?
That's not what I said.
Then you have no merit to stand on.
You have no idea what I'm saying, is what I'm saying.
Are you saying I conceded and that the party switch is real?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Then by your logic, you would have to agree, by your logic, that the Republicans of today were the Jim Crows and the segregation and the funding of the KKK.
That's a leap. That's what we call a leap, right? You have now.
So do you
added
hold on?
more.
Do you agree Democratic Southerners switched to the Republican Party?
Democratic Southerners, yes, went to the Republican Party. We both know
Then
this.
you're in the same fucking boat I'm in. Then you're not making no sense right here.
So we both know that Republican voters that came from the Democratic Party are 100% part of the voter base still, even today. So the party switch did happen. It's just that it was only a portion. Not all Republicans are racist. Not all Republicans are coming from the Southern Dixiecrats, but the Southern Dixiecrats definitely did switch parties on the basis of law and order and not being part of a socialist Marxist movement.
One, you're conflating. It's like
you admit it, dude. You admit it. That's all I'm saying. The ones that we are talking about.
I've always stood by that you had Southern Democrats going to the GOP. I never said they didn't do that. Now, you're trying to force me to say, yeah, it was because of law and order. That may have been a reason, but it wasn't the reason. That's why I asked you.
It doesn't matter what reason. The switch happened.
No, there was no switch from the party.
Bro, if I claim Southern Democrat, if I claim to be a Southern Democrat, okay, in 1962, okay, and then I go to the Republican Party, and that is now me claiming I'm a Republican Party member in 1962, what did I do?
Oh, it was after that.
What did I do?
You changed parties.
I switched parties. There you go. I switched parties.
And why did they switch parties?
Doesn't matter why. It really just doesn't matter why. The part of the Democratic Party, the members of the Democratic Party that switched parties, they switched. Doesn't matter why. The fact is that they switched.
No.
Okay, hold on, Kraut. Hold on just 1 second. Mute yourself, Jody. Thank you. Hold on. So I got what he's saying. At least I think I do. But correct me if I'm wrong.
I do too.
Hold on.
Because they switch, they now
hold on. Before Donald Trump became a Republican, what party was he affiliated with?
Well, I wouldn't begin to
Answer the
know.
question. Hold on, Kraut. Answer the question.
I just said I wouldn't begin to know. People tell me that he voted
Okay,
Democrat.
he was a diehard Democrat.
Begin to know.
He was a diehard Democrat. Whenever he ran for president in 2016, he switched parties and became a Republican.
So
he stayed wait.
I got you. My fault.
He stayed a Republican throughout the last 8 years or whatever the fuck it's been.
12.
So I'm going to ask this question. Is the Democrat and Republican Party switch a myth? Yes or no?
It's a myth. It's a myth.
My hands up.
I'm going to bang my head off this fucking desk.
To concede that the party switched is to say that the Republicans of today were the Democrats that supported Jim Crow, that funded the I don't like when people say they founded the KKK. That's false information. You make conservatives look bad. They funded the KKK. They didn't.
They make
found the
themselves
KKK.
look bad. What are you talking about?
Okay, hold on.
I mean,
Hold on.
Look,
Hold on.
Both.
I'll
Okay.
agree to that, man.
If I went and changed my political affiliation from Republican to Democrat, is that a myth? Is that a myth, Kraut?
Oopsie. He'll be back.
Motherfucker.
It's a myth that you are a Republican, yes.
If I was a Dane,
That is a myth.
I was a Viking
Oh,
sailing
God.
the heights. If I became baptized after all of my dirty deeds as a nasty little Viking, would I be a Viking anymore after I became a Christian? The answer
Are
to
you
that
still
is
rating
Hey, we got to get a spurge tax for if you and Ben are going to go at it again. We need a spurge tax.
Okay, Marco.
Okay,
now,
Kraut, hold on.
Spurging here, but no spurge gonna happen. It was hilarious, and it depends on if he keeps raiding and pillaging like the Christians did.
Oh my God. Hold on.
Biting wieners off.
Hold on. Kraut.
What's up, brother?
Okay. Answered the question. If I went and changed, fuck you, Ben. I know you can hear me. If I went and changed party affiliations, is that a myth or would it have happened?
I believe that's a loaded question. So
It is not a loaded question. It's a yes or no question.
that no, because of the way you phrase that, I can't answer that yes or no. 'Cause
Okay,
either way-
I'll go back to my original question. Donald Trump was a Democrat prior to becoming the president in 2016. Did he run as a Democrat or a Republican?
Well, he ran as a Republican, yes.
Okay, so I asked the fucking question again. Is the Democratic and Republican Party switch a myth?
It's a myth.
How the fuck can you say that's a myth?
Because when people join a different party, it doesn't mean the party changed their ideological stances.
How?
Their
A
stances.
Democrat wants to give everything away. A conservative wants to save money.
So would you rather concede that when somebody switches party, they change their values and the party doesn't? That makes more sense to me.
It's still the same fucking thing.
No, the prompt is the party switch, not the people switch. The party switch is a myth, not the voter base switch.
How is how is switching a party a myth?
Because conservatives, by and large, since they were, I don't even want to say since they were founded by Abraham Lincoln, because he wasn't even a Republican.
I don't give a fuck about Abraham Lincoln right now.
Here's a question.
Okay, wait a minute here. So let me try to clarify a little bit here. Individuals who used to be in one party switching to another is not what he's talking about. He's talking about the consistent values of the party changing over time, and he says that has not happened, that each of the parties has stayed consistent over time in what the party itself believes, not what one individual person here and there believes.
Now,
Yes,
what
right, but Mrs. Balderson, hold on.
Rick's point is how could the party not have changed its values if the people that are voting for that party have changed those values, i.e., if Trump, we noticed Trump was never called a racist and all these other things before he ran for the Republican president. And then you have the good old boys all wanting to vote for Trump because now he's representing that thing. So when you're saying that, how could you say that without the Republicans having the very racist base?
Well,
that's what I was trying to fucking say.
I can answer that question for you. Because the Democrats evolved into a more progressive, Marxist, pro-choice movement, where the Republicans started taking on a more conservative, religious, working class, small government. That's essentially why they got the Southern Democrats, because they weren't agreeing with the Democratic Party.
Here's the problem with that crowd. The conservatives that you're talking about in DC do not give a damn about your little shitty county government. They do not give a damn about your state government.
So we're talking about states now. We're not talking about the country as a whole.
We've been talking about the federal government, the county government, and the state government, but the federal government does not give a damn. And I will tell you right now that the Republican Party on the federal level really don't give a damn about the states. They don't. You think that the Republican Party on the federal level gives a damn about the states? At what point do you say this? What evidence do you have to show that the federal government, who always talks, or excuse me, the Republican Party at the federal level, has every talking point about why we should support the federal government at the federal level and the Republican Party, but I never see it on the state level from the federal conservatives, from the federal representatives.
So two things. That's a wild claim, Kyle. Let's see if it works out. So before I answer that question, would you are you guys understanding now what I mean by how the Democrats' views were pushing Democrats away and the Republican Party, the GOP, started drawing them in? Do you guys understand now what I mean?
I have no idea what you're saying, bro. I just asked you a question. I asked you to bring some proofism to show that the Republican Party at the federal level gives a damn about the states and the counties and the cities. Show me that proof.
Well, show me the proof that the Democratic Party cares, because that's not my claim.
No, bro.
The claim is the prompt.
Stop it.
The claim is the prompt.
Yeah.
Well, I'll answer your question, because I actually have an answer to your question. But first, I want you to understand what I mean now by how the Democrats drew
the way to do it is answer his question and then give your explanation. So, Clay,
I already answered one of his questions.
Answer his question right now.
Okay.
And then give your explanation.
Okay. Neither party cares about us. But the Republican Party wants smaller government, and the Democratic Party wants larger fucking government.
You keep saying bro, you keep saying the Republican Party wants small government. Show me where. This is why I was asking for. You keep saying that. You say they want smaller government. Show me where they care about the counties and the cities. Show me where they care about the states. Show me.
I'm not saying they care about him, nor do the Democrats care.
Okay, so then you're lying. You're lying.
He's not
know
talking
they
about
care.
small governments. He's talking about the size of the federal government. Oh my God, Clay.
No.
Yeah.
Small government literally means that the states have more power than the federal government. The counties have more
It might
power.
mean that.
That's exactly what the fuck it means.
That's exactly what he's saying. At least that's how I took it, Ant.
Always been that.
All right, let me answer this a different way. Let me answer this a different way. Neither party cares about us, but the Republicans don't care about us so much. Fuck them. Let them make their own
So then
laws.
stop
We'll
saying the
intervene
talking point.
as
Stop
little
saying the talking
as
point because it's a
possible.
lie. Stop
But
saying the talking point.
This is not the prompt. I
understand that, but you keep using that talking point to try to prove a point where it's a lie and it has nothing to do with the prompt. You keep saying the Republican Party is about small government to prove your prompt where it has nothing to do with the prompt,
bro.
and it's a lie.
Regardless of not if it's true or not, that is what they fucking ran off of, and that is one of the reasons why they got Southern Democrats to start going into the GOP, the Republican Party. That's a fucking fact. Now, regardless of not if they actually want small government, doesn't matter.
Propaganda. They don't do it in actuality, but they do propagandize themselves as the party that supports that, even though none of their actions do. I agree with that.
Right.
I just want to say, this is better than the debate, and I'll take full credit because I said that he conceded, and it fucking rolled into this. I love it.
Thank you, Judge.
That's you can't say I never conceded on anything, on any fucking thing.
And for that matter, you guys, I'm gonna take a second.
Heterosexuality.
I'm gonna take a second to fucking.
Wait,
Griff.
what?
You cannot get this kind of entertainment anywhere else. Please spend some money because, like, I really think that you guys know that he works. He does work hard to bring you this entertainment. Like, he set this up. These guys wanted to debate. He hosted it. We came up. This panel's here tonight. He's in control of it. He's doing a very fine job. So go send him some money, please. I'll perform for you.
Clay,
And Kraut,
what's up?
Kraut, listen to me. Listen to me. Would you or would you not say
5
that someone in a conservative ideology could switch to a liberal ideology?
Are you talking about in general or during the civil rights era?
Answer the question.
Is it possible? Like, can it happen?
Why are you filibustering my question every fucking time?
Because I like seeing you Spurg spin.
That's another $10 Spurg tax, fucker. No, joking.
Anyways, no.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Yes, yes.
So how is it a myth?
Yeah, answer the question.
Yeah. Again, you're doing what Toasty was doing during our debate. You're conflating with people changing their morals and values to the actual party ideology.
I'm going to give you a speed date with him. This fucking question.
Oh God. Kraut. If I'm a Viking, okay, and then I become a Christian, did I switch it from Viking to Christian?
I would assume so, but Ben would be the person to ask that for obvious reasons. I'm not too familiar with
My God, you're filibustering again.
I just said I would think so, but you would have to ask Ben to expand on that.
Just to be clear, the word you're looking for is obfuscating. Filibustering is where you you talk on and on and on.
Yeah, sorry.
You don't actually answer.
Well, filibustering is a Senate procedure. That is kind of the idea behind it. The actual debate term you want to use there is proof by verbosity.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Perfect.
I think Kraut is getting a lot of smoke. I think It's just
Well,
the one
the
simple
other guy
word.
got the smoke first.
Smoke
Kraut
is
was
smoke,
second.
bro. I'm 39. Trust me,
Well,
none of y'all cats did anything to me that I haven't experienced already.
I didn't get a chance to question Donald. He popped off. But my thing is, I think I get what I'm picking up what you're putting down. My biggest thing is the terminology, the word myth itself. You know, maybe just change that one word.
All right.
Because myth is like.
I'll clarify why. All right. So I think we can all agree why did Democrats push this propaganda that it happened? Because they want to separate themselves from Jim Crow, from the KKK, from segregation, and from slavery. That's why they pushed this propaganda.
Did they?
Now, did they properly push the propaganda?
No. Did they drop the Jim Crow stuff? Did they drop all of that?
No, a Republican actually.
So what Jim Crow laws still exist down in the South?
I'm not familiar with the South, but
none. That's the answer. Zero. None of them.
Okay,
none of the Jim Crow laws.
To get rid of that?
God damn it.
Anyways, so that's why I say the claim is a myth.
Are you just going to say I don't know to everything?
Pretty much. Clay, what did you say?
I said, are you just going to say I don't know to everything? Because it seems like you're just everything that I ask you say, well, I don't know about that because like
hold
the way that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves and he was a Republican.
I answered your question about what drove Southern Democrats to the Republican Party. Did I not?
You did.
All right then. But you're asking about specific shit in the South that is still going on and may have gone. I don't know shit about the South, bro. I've been living in Northeastern all my fucking life. But that's why I call it a myth, because they try to separate themselves from those four things I just brought up.
You guys see why I never wanted to go to Jersey? I literally got off the interstate one time to get gas, and I did not even. Like, I regret it.
A lot of lizard came and got you like, "Hey, honey, you want sweet time?" You probably took her up on that offer, too, didn't you?
The beauty of it was like, so after I got gas, I like parked because I was tired too. So I like was gonna take a nap, and then probably like 20 minutes. No, actually, it was worse than that. 20 minutes later, a cop come knocking on my window, and I'm like, "Oh no, I'm out of here. Bye." I literally left immediately.
That's surprising because I assume he's a statey, and most New Jersey stadies don't really fuck with you. So I'm actually surprised about that.
It was an empty parking lot at the middle of the night. I mean. Doesn't
okay, I get that. Yeah. What do you got against New Jerseyans? Do you think I'm laying out bad claims here? Do you think I'm not backed up by
no, I think your claim is a valid claim. I just think that it's a talking point claim that has no real historical accuracy.
No, hold up. I believe a talking point would be saying something with no facts, right?
Yeah, it has no historical.
Yeah, everything I'll say 80% of what I'm saying is backed up by fucking history.
So you already admitted that the Southern Democrats switched over to the Republican Party. Doesn't matter why it happened.
Hold on. I don't like that framing. To say I admit something.
Exactly.
Stop. Let me explain myself. I'm very particular with how people word things. Maybe it's because I get ADHD. When you say I admit it, it's implying that at once I held a claim, but then I admitted I was wrong. I didn't admit to nothing. I have never claimed Southern Democrats didn't go to the Republican side. That has never been my claim, so I have never admitted to something that
But they did.
I never argued that point. So stop saying I admitted to it, because that's an indication that at once I held the belief they didn't. I never made that claim.
That's fine.
My claim, to keep it short and simple, is the Republicans of today were not the Jim Crow, KKK funded segregation, wanted to keep slaveries of yesterday. That has always been the Democratic Party.
That's not the prompt, though.
Okay, what's the prompt?
The prompt is that the switch was a myth.
So, okay. And again, why did people push the propaganda that the switch happened?
You're calling it propaganda, but you yourself admit it happened.
No, stop saying admit it, bro. We already went through this.
You admitted that those Southern Dixiecrats turned to the Republican Party, got involved, and became part of the Republican Party. You admitted that.
Have I ever said during this debate that they never went to the Republican Party?
You didn't say it in the debate because I think Real Talk wasn't really quite on point, quite like I am. No.
Okay, so please do me a favor
this question and answer.
Don't throw shade. Don't throw shade when someone's not here.
Oh, absolutely, I can throw shade. What the fuck are you talking about? This is the internet. This is like telling people they can't talk about religion. What the fuck are you talking about? No, fuck that. Absolutely, if Real Talk wants to come back, he's more than welcome to. I'm sure Spin will let him up. I think people should donate so that would be a very interesting conversation because I'd throw some dirt his way because no offense, he just really wasn't quite on par like I am. I'm really good at this, right? I do ask the hard questions.
You're cooking 100%.
I do ask the hard questions and I catch him in his trap.
Clay kind of failing at this tonight, man. Normally he's on point. I guess because we're not talking about the Constitution, he's really struggling right now. But go ahead.
I'm just talking about history, bro. What are you talking about? This is just history. This literally happened. You admit that Southern Dixiecrats went to the Republican Party because they knew that the Democratic Party was not going to accept them under the platform that they had moved to.
Well, I never claimed they didn't move. So again, I didn't admit to nothing. Admission is going back on something I once said. And I never said they never joined.
This is really what it is. You are hanging on so hard to the thought that the Republican Party serves you. And it just doesn't. Just like the Democratic Party doesn't serve the Democrats. Those voters, the voter base, have been tricked and lied to. The small government that they preach isn't real. Okay, never has been. But the funny thing about the thing that they preach,
you're wrong, and you should actually know this because the reason
I didn't know I was wrong.
The reason why we have or why small government started was because of the First Amendment. You should know this, constitutionalist.
What?
The First Amendment, the freedom of religion. It was an agreement between the federal level and the states. Is one of the reasons why we started out in small government.
The First Amendment was an agreement between the states
for the freedom of speech part, which falls under the First Amendment.
So freedom of speech is the whole reason.
I believe it's one of the main reasons why the federal level and then the states came to an agreement for a small government, for as little federal intervention as possible.
Bro, many of the states originally did not want a Bill of Rights at all.
When we got them, was freedom of religion one of the main reasons why they decided to have
freedom of speech or freedom of religion? Because
freedom of religion. I may have misspoke.
Freedom of religion. Say it again. What do you want to know?
The freedom of religion. Was it not an agreement to have freedom of religion? Was that not one of the main reasons why they decided on smaller government, to have the federal government intervene as little as possible? Excuse me.
No government would intervene with the First Amendment. That was the idea with all of our rights.
All right, no government. Would you agree that freedom of religion played a huge part in that?
In what? Small government?
In the First Amendment, and yes, to an agreement to keep small government.
No, not at all.
So I know something about the Constitution that you don't?
No, you don't know anything about what the fuck you're talking about. Small government? No, that's not at all. Hold on. First and foremost, if you're talking about small government, there were two parties originally, okay? There were two parties. There was a couple probably independent, but it was Federalists and Whigs, and neither one of them were about small fucking government. What the fuck are you talking about?
So how did we come up with small government?
Because it's propaganda.
Oh, okay. What was the propaganda then?
The propaganda was served to you on a silver platter as you ate there in your New Jersey Upper Rise.
Well, you're describing what propaganda is, but you're not telling me what the propaganda was.
Yeah, it was served to you on a little shit platter as something that you could actually achieve in a place where the Republicans really don't give a fuck about small government, and all they care about is money.
Stop equivocating, Clay, and just answer the fucking question.
What's the equivocation?
You're using vague language, and you're not going
using vague language is equivocating.
What propaganda did the government sell to buy the idea of small government?
Oh goodness, brother, man. The idea of small government was served to you on a platter, telling you that your laws and your ordinances within your states and your counties and your cities serve a higher meaning than the federal government's U.S. code.
That sounds like freedom of religion. I would say that's a high meaning, right?
What? Well, hold on. Wait, what the fuck are you talking about?
Is that a concession?
Oh my God. What the fuck? Bro, I just stated that the ordinances and the statutes of the state are more important than the U.S. code. And you said that that's religion?
Right. That they have a higher meaning than the federal government. And then I replied, that sounds like religion, because
bro, which ordinances and which statutes establish religion?
Well, I can't name you ordinances and statutes off the
Zero.
top of my head like that.
Zero. None of them. Because there are no laws that can establish religion. What the fuck are you talking about?
I never said to establish religion, Clay.
So then what the fuck do the statutes and the ordinances have to do with
freedom of religion? Freedom of religion.
What do they have to do with religion if they don't establish religion? The whole point of having laws that don't establish religion is that they have nothing to do with fucking religion. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right. So I think you just conceded without realizing you conceded.
No, bro, I didn't concede. You went off on this weird religion thing, and you asked me, you went off on a weird religion thing, where then before that, you asked me, what's the propaganda about a small government? You asked me a question, and then you actually did exactly what you accused
me. Do you think you can practice your own religion?
You actually tried to equivocate religion to statutes and court ordinances. That's equivocation, by the way.
You're bringing up statutes and ordinances.
You literally did exactly what you.
Do you think you can have freedom of religion if you have an overarching federal government proceeding over every state imaginable? Do you think you can have freedom of religion in that aspect, Clay?
Yeah, you absolutely can have freedom of religion with a federal government that is overarching across the states and the counties and the cities. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, let's move back on topic about the myth, because you're way off, and I'm actually fucking surprised.
You keep asking me stupid questions, going further down this rabbit hole, bro. You are the one driving.
I'm coming out the rabbit hole, bro. I'm not following the white rabbit no more. Let's get back on topic about the myth.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Yes, I have some questions. So do you. Unless somebody else wants to take over or has some burning desire to ask questions or go down some other rabbit hole.
I got a question for Spin. Do you have that meme that says, the more you know? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like a rainbow. It's like a rainbow. It's like the more you know.
No, but I got
you
this
can't.
one
You
for
can't use. You
fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. And especially fuck you. You're cool.
You can't use that.
Did you like that one? Did you like that one?
Yeah.
I like your haircut.
Yeah, reading rainbow is.
Now he's gonna fucking push a button like every fucking 3 minutes, every 2 minutes in the middle of somebody's sentence.
Yeah, reading, yeah, I know. Right? Reading rainbow along with
copyrighted.
What's the other thing? School of Rock, and all of those are like heavily copyrighted. So you can make like a meme of it and do like a different one, but you can't use the specific one.
It's like, wow, the little kids, wow, the more you know.
That's why they call him a bill on Capitol Hill.
Now you know, and knowing's half the battle. Yo, Joe.
Okay, so this
My dogs are
whole-
like, fuck G.I. Joe.
whole thing, party switch. You did say that the Southern Dixiecrats were definitely not interested in the Democratic Party's platform when they went to the civil rights movement, correct? Kraut?
Well, some of them weren't, but they also left because of what the Democratic Party was turning into.
Okay, so they left the Democratic Party. Okay, doesn't matter why. Doesn't like if they left because Elmo was played on the screen a second ago. Fuck you, Spin. Don't play it. It doesn't matter why, but they left. Where did they go?
Some of them became independent. Some of them went over to the Republican or the GOP. I don't know if there's distinctions between that. Like there's a distinction between conservative or Republican. I don't know if there's a distinction between GOP and Republicans, but they went over to the right, to keep it simple.
Yeah, okay. And it doesn't matter why they went over there.
Well, no, it does matter why.
Oh, it does? Why does it matter why they went over?
What are you without your values, Clay?
No. Don't ask a question. I'm asking you a question. Stop it. Stop it. Get some help. Like, what are we doing here? Why does it matter if the question is, did they switch? Why does it matter why they switched?
Well, they changed parties.
There it is. You said it yourself.
Right. So it's not a myth. It's just misconstrued.
Well, tell me their
their beliefs stayed the same. They just turned coat.
Well,
misconstrued. Myth is like a fucking dragon or this and that. Like it never happened. Fairy tale. That was my whole point of you saying it's a myth.
The fuck you mean about dragons, Jody?
Yeah, the wyverns, man. The fucking wyverns.
My father Odin. I apologize.
All right, so let's say, for the sake of the argument, I'll say the switch happened for the sake of the argument.
Very good.
What ideas? Name 3 ideas that the Republicans had and the Democrats took over that the Republicans no longer have, and what 3 ideas that the Democrats had but no longer have, but the Republicans now have. You got that, or do I need to simplify the answer?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I didn't catch it.
Okay, there's 3 ideas that the Democrats had. Let's say they no longer have those views.
Ice cream too fast.
But the Republicans have those 3 views that the Democrats used to have. Now, vice versa. There's 3 views that the Republicans no longer have, but the Democrats took over those 3 views.
Are you bringing up the same 3 talking points that you had against?
Hey, I'm just saying. Name them. I'm not giving.
I guess I still don't understand the question.
All right, I'll ask.
He's talking about immigration.
No. Hold up, Jody. I'll ask the question in 2 parts. Then, what 3 views do the Democrats no longer hold, but the Republicans took those 3 views over?
I don't know.
But if there's if you believe there's a switch, then you would have to have some idea of the views that they switched on. So I'll ask the second part.
No, not really. No, I wouldn't need to know.
No, hold on. You're holding the claim that there was a switch. So you would have to give me proof of the switch. And I asked you to name 3 views that either party had, but no longer have, but the other party took over.
So when you vote, right, and you go and cast your ballot, does the poll worker ask you why it is that you voted for a candidate? No. The answer is no. And why? Because it doesn't fucking matter why you voted for a candidate. You understand that now?
Why did
I
you
don't
vote
give a
for that
fuck.
candidate, Clay?
It doesn't matter.
The lesser evil at this point. It's really fucking simple.
You're not answering the question because you know your entire point.
No. What you're trying to do is you're trying to draw me in to discussing why it is somebody would switch parties when that isn't even the debate topic. Like, you're trying to make it about why they switched parties and saying that people are wrong about why they switched parties when it's clear and evident that they switched parties, and your prompt is 100% wrong.
I don't give a fuck about either or.
For the simple fact that you couldn't give me 3 views that one party had and dropped that the other party picked up, the simple fact that you can't answer that question, you can't claim the switch happened because you can't answer that simple question.
So if a guy who used to claim to be Democrat is now a Republican, because that's literally what it says on paper. He did it. He signed up to be in the Republican Party. He was originally signed up in the Democratic Party. It doesn't matter. Like, that's the thing, crowd. You know this. How do you, bro? Why I do a thing doesn't have any bearing on whether I did the thing when it comes to court, right? It just, if I'll take that back. Because there's like a difference between manslaughter and red rum. Okay, I get that part, but the guy's still dead, right? I still unalived the guy either way. I still would have to be punished. I would still be recognized as someone who unalived the guy, right? That part is true, right? Now, we might determine why I did it, right? Because maybe I'm just crazy, or maybe I just accidentally backed over him. But either way, I'm still the guy who unalived him, right? So why I did it doesn't matter. Just like when you see a Democrat switch to a Republican Party and a Republican switch to the Democratic Party,
That's not true. That's not true, Clay, at all. There's a difference between aggravated red rum and just simple red rum.
But the guy's still dead either way, right?
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
So then the guy's
but
dead,
there is
right?
a difference.
I'm still a guy who unalived a guy.
Like if you chop through a door and stick your face through it and yell at the person before, is that aggravated?
Yeah, if you see Jack Nicholson, you know you're in trouble.
It's definitely going to be aggravated then.
Now, if you want to talk about why the party switch happened, that's fine. That's another discussion. Is that where you're trying to go with it? But the party switch did happen?
No, the party switch never happened.
Okay, so you're still not convinced, right? So we still need
you couldn't even answer my simple question. You hold the claim that it happened, but you can't answer my question.
You hold the same claim.
And I've given 80. I might even toot my own horn and pat my own back and say closer to 90% of the shit I said is historical fucking facts that you can look up. You might have to dig around a little bit, but it's pretty accurate.
Government. I mean, tax reform, deportation. I mean, fucking. We could.
Well, I never mentioned deportation. What I mentioned was the Democrats were starting to lean into immigration, and Conservative Party was anti-immigration.
What's the difference between immigration and deportation? It's fucking yin and yang. Every one that comes in, every two that comes in, one comes out.
Exactly, that's the difference right there.
2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Wasn't my fault. Con Air reference. Hopefully somebody else got it. So yeah, you just explain how there's different, Jody. Immigration is letting people in. It's different from deportation. It overlaps, obviously.
Yeah, but your question was list 3 things that switched parties. I mean,
you got them. Go ahead.
I just listed tax reform, multiple. That shit switches constantly, no matter who's in charge. That's why I really don't give a fuck about this. The only reason I come up was like Ben was like, Jody, get up here.
All right,
I don't give a fuck about.
But you just said both parties, depending on who's in charge, they go back and forth.
They're just greedy fucking liars, bro. They're gonna fucking lie and tell you what you want to fucking hear, and they're gonna promise you this and promise you that. They don't give a fuck about you. What party? What specific party do you want me to list?
Three ideas that the Democrats once had but no longer have, and the Conservative Party took those three ideas over. They now follow those three values.
That the Republicans took over Democratic. Okay.
Like, all right, let's say a Democrat believed in
Agriculture.
only buying American cars, but now they no longer have that belief. But the Republicans actually took up that view, and now they believe you should only buy American cars. That's just an example. Give me two more.
That's probably true.
Yeah, that's why I actually thought about that. Conservatives, by and large, believes in buy locally. But go ahead, Jody. Name two more.
Agriculture. I mean, farmers for the longest time were Democrats, and now it seems like most of them are becoming Republican.
Yeah, that's not the win you think it is, Jody. Why do you think Democrats were for farming? Who did all the farming back in the day? You might want to pick something else, brother.
I mean, how old are we going back? I'm in California. We
like
can
go back a year ago. We can go back a year ago. We can go back 100 years ago. The Democrats owned slaves. Now the Democrats want all the immigrants.
You always got to make it about fucking race, dude. That's the whole thing. Why I was confused when you and
fucking matcha
him were debating. You guys just wanted to make it about race. It's not about fucking race.
Well,
it's
no,
about
hold
switching
on, Jody.
parties.
Let me interrupt you real quick. Again, the reason the Democrats push the propaganda is to separate themselves from Jim Crow, segregation, KKK, and slavery. So yes, ultimately it is going to be about
I
race.
understand that, but why? That's exactly my point. Why didn't you mention Senator Byrd? He never fucking swapped. He stood his ground.
The GOP wouldn't let him the fuck in.
That's my point. Why didn't you bring that up? If you're so hard based on this not ever happening, that's your smoking gun right there.
No, I believe my smoking gun, my two strongest points, even though I actually forgot to mention them, was Barry Goldwater and
two strongest points that I didn't use. Is that what you just said?
Wait, what? Yeah, no, because I forgot to bring up Barry. I think I brought Barry up one fucking time during the debate. I forget what it was about. But yeah, I think my strongest points that I actually brought up was the Southern strategy and what the Democrats were leaning into and what the Conservative Party were leaning into, which put together, they were driving the Democrats away and the Republicans were drawing them in with their views. Now, too many people on this panel are conflating with people going to a party and the party actually switching ideologies. But you said farmers. If that's the answer you want to go with, I mean, again, it's not the one you think it is because, because
there's a lot of agriculture in fucking New Jersey. Bro, I got counties that are bigger than your entire fucking state.
I believe in New Jersey is like the fourth or fifth fucking smallest state out there. Name one more, though. I'll give you agriculture because I don't want to draw this out anymore. Give me one more.
I'm not trying to smoke you, dude. I'm just like I said,
admire it.
I'm not up here to debate.
I at the very least.
Well, get with it, Jody, and get to debating.
Yeah,
you're going to become a master debater.
And then after you come up with this third point, I'm going to give you a solid reason of why your first two really doesn't work well. But give me your third.
Just go ahead and shut me down, bro. I'm not here to debate.
No, give me your third, bro. No, come on, man. Be a master debater.
He wants to see you master debate.
The rest of us,
positive evidence. Positive evidence.
Proofism.
Go ahead, Jody. Get one more.
All right. So I got tax reform.
I choose you.
I got agriculture. What's another one? Let's say social programming or social programs, for instance. Like, oh no, that's for the Dems, right? So it's
Yeah, I believe the Democrats have always, for the most part, held social programs. Now there are conservative liberals that probably also held those views, but I really didn't dive in conservative liberals. I believe at the end of the day, that's what modern conservatives are now. We distance ourselves from the liberal part because of all the far left shit that's going on today.
okay. Colleges, how about that? I'll just throw that out there. Dems are
Expand.
always
All right, I'll be back
always
on that.
hard for
I was just
fucking.
ready to tell them.
What's that?
Go ahead and expand on that, Jody. You said colleges. What about them?
The programming were always pretty much. College is a fucking joke. I mean, you spend thousands of fucking dollars, years of your life, just waiting to try to get a fucking job instead of just, I don't know, become a fucking foreman, become a carpenter.
All right. So, yeah, you got the college thing mostly because I don't know too much about how colleges work. I would argue that back in the day, colleges were much better compared to today. It's all like political bullshit that the liberal teachers are trying to push. Now, so you definitely got to win on that because I don't know enough to argue that point. Now, you admitted when you first brought up tax reform that those two parties switch those ideas all the time. So that's really not a strong case to go against why the switch happened. And your second
Once again, I don't give a fuck about either fucking party. I made that very clear.
Don't give a
fuck. Do you believe the switch happened?
I definitely don't believe it's a fucking myth.
Okay. and you gave me 3 answers that I asked to prove that it's not a myth. So
right, but I'm not over here Googling and shit. I'm not prepared.
I'm on my phone right now, bro.
You were prepared for this.
I'm Googling.
Yeah, I can't look at my notes no more. My laptop died, brother. Everything I'm saying now is off the cuff. That's why my shit is now 70% instead of 80 to 90%. You know what I mean?
And honestly, bro, when you speak raw, when you're true, like how you're talking with Clay, you need to bring that fucking fire with you next time you come to debate. Instead of, you said you had ADHD, and I'm not going to make fun of your but next time, like Ben said, just fucking memorize your shit and come fucking hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of you stumble your words, and you always go and it kind of makes you look weak.
She said that too.
And I appreciate that, bro. I'm glad you won't make fun of me on that. I won't make fun of your either. All right?
Yeah, I'm a fucking moron.
I will. I'm gonna make fun of both of you. and Jody over there snorting while he's laughing and shit.
Hey, look, real quick before somebody else
Clay, go fucking pick some fucking lint out of your belly button, you fucking pig.
You know what? I do every once in a while have to pick some lint out of my belly button. I ain't even gonna lie about that. I'm a fat guy now. Hey.
Dad bod 2026.
Sarah saw my video and she's like, "You got a fat ass, Clay." I'm like, "Yeah." Yeah, I'm a fat guy. I can't do anything. Well, I could do something about it. I just don't want to.
Well, you look like
down those everybody in America. That just makes you an American.
Right. I'm just trying to get with the times. How about this, Clay? Excuse me. How about this, Kraut? So clearly,
did you just refer to yourself in the third person? You fucking
I
egotistical
really did say,
motherfucker.
how about this, Clay? He
I did
do
say
that.
Clay. I did say Clay. It was
Yeah,
an accident.
fucking ego.
Hung up.
Yeah, he's a
What an
Clay.
ego on this fucking guy.
Clay got to go to work.
Yeah, I'm gonna argue with Clay now.
Go ahead,
This is gonna
Clay.
be really easy.
Spurred out on yourself, dude.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So
Fuck you, Clay. Yeah. Bullshit answer, Clay.
you know, I was told that talking to yourself is not a bad thing. It's when you're if you ask questions to yourself and then you answer yourself. That's
that's funny.
That's what you interrupted, Kraut. See, this is why you never get in the way of your enemy destroying himself. That's a word for you, sir.
I was gonna say that actually happened in the Discord a few days ago. Ant called me out on it because I tagged myself on the Discord and I said some shit, and then I replied to my own comment, and I did it like 3 or 4 times. Like, it was something like that. I don't let him know. I don't know, bro. Is it worth it? I'll fucking go for it. And then Ant's like, nothing wrong talking to yourself. It's when you answer. And I said some shit like, I don't want to be ignored or something like that. I don't know. It was stupid. But go ahead, Clay. What do you got to say?
So, Jim Crow laws, obviously bad for the country.
No, they're good. They're good.
So, if I'm a black guy living in the South at that time, my first idea is going to be, I got to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to the North. See you guys later. And this is exactly what happened. A lot of Southern blacks moved north because the Southern Dixiecrats were implementing and executing incredibly horrific Jim Crow laws. So naturally, if they're already registered to be Democratic voters, or they're aligning with Democratic voters in the North, and they're becoming Democrats
I don't got my
in
phone.
the North, they are now creating a different platform. Okay, naturally. Okay, I wouldn't say that black Democratic voters would want Jim Crow laws, regardless of whether they're in the South or they fled to the North. Okay, that population grew in the North in the 1930s through the 1950s. Okay, so when you literally look at the platform today, the platform of the Democratic Party has changed significantly to the point where they're on the high end of those who would be in favor of civil rights laws. There are many Republicans, a very large amount of their base, who do not like the civil rights laws. And I understand both sides, by the way. And I'm torn between them because it's the problem, in my opinion, and this is kind of a side point, is that the states are not respecting the people's rights, and that's why the civil rights had to be implemented in the first place. That's my opinion, and that's why the federal government stepped in. But regardless of that, the Democratic Party switched their alignment with their platform. They are no longer about the Jim Crow style laws. That is a switch of the platform itself. The problem with the Republicans is that the Republicans, quite honestly, don't really do a whole lot of housekeeping. The Democrats are super critical of each other. This is just something I observe even to this very day. They're always calling each other crazies, and the Republicans pretty much just ignore each other. And this is just kind of their whole life frame anyway. Like a Republican typically just wants to be left alone to his own devices. No problem with that. But what that does is it breeds an environment where the people in your party really do get to do whatever the hell they want to do. And this is something I observe. So when people come into the Republican Party saying, you know, I want to be a Republican now, those Republicans that are already there, and this is really what happened in the 60s and the 70s after the Democratic Party changed their base, those Southern Dixiecrats decided to be Republican. And the other Republicans weren't paying attention. They're like, yeah, okay, do what you do. You know, no biggie. Just vote Republican, you know? Well, if it is the case that I'm a Republican or somebody becomes a Republican after being a Democrat, happen to be their base because they were a Southern Dixiecrat, and that's their moral frame, they're going to want to implement those types of laws for that platform. So while the majority of Republicans don't want that, those Southern Dixiecrats who became Republicans still want what they wanted. Their moral framework hasn't changed. Okay, they're still a part of the party. They switched over. They became Republican. Okay, and then on top of that, now their voter base, who know who they are, like if I know that Forrest Gump is running, sorry, my camera went out. I'll switch and come back in here in a minute. But if I'm seeing Forrest Gump, not Forrest Gump the retarded fella, but the Forrest Gump the daddy is running, then I'm going to vote for that Forrest Gump if I also have those same shitty Jim Crow values. This is what occurred. It actually has occurred. It's not that it's the entire base of the Republican Party, but there is a portion of the Republican Party that's still, and this is just observance. When I lived in Florida, and I lived in Florida for a long time, my brother, the Democrats were not the people who were racist. Okay, the Southern Republican voters, I lived in Georgia too, were the ones who were racist. This is me observing what really is in the South. I'm from the South. My family's from the South, right? So the Southern Democrats weren't racist. They weren't. They just simply weren't. Because the platform of and I'll say that they probably have some racists in there, sure, but they're not like the Republican bases are like, there's a lot of Southern Republicans that are racist. This is me observing reality in my life. Just telling you.
Are you talking about Nathan Bedford?
Yeah, I'm using the example.
Hold on, because you got something wrong straight up. Well, so first I'll start with, you actually proved my point. You can pick out the Republican races. You can't do that with a Democrat. They're snakes in the grass. But anyways, that's a claim. Well, you're doing an appeal to authority.
You're just making a random claim. Like what? You can't do nothing about the Democrats. What are you talking about, dude?
How do you know they were racist Republicans?
Bro, I lived in the South. I'm from the South. I am that Southern son. What are you talking about, bro? Yeah, okay.
Hello?
I'm gonna show. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Give me just a second.
He cuts 2-inch trees, dude.
Damn, everybody froze. Clay, you still there?
That's what I'm talking about. Do you see it? Do you see it on the screen?
Bricks. That's bricks.
Do you know what this means right here? There's a reason why this is. There's a reason. No, I'm still up here.
Yeah, hopefully he comes back, because I want to know how he knows.
Can he not hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you
Kraut's on his phone. Can you hear me, Kraut?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, Clay's here and talking. You got to go out and come back in, bro.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
All right.
Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
well, I mean, I don't know about good, but you're something.
Oh, don't call me that. Don't talk dirty to me. Hey, I seen those pendants. Those are badass. Did you make those yourself?
Yeah, well, I did some of them, and then I do the stonework and like the really big fancy ones. That's a girl does that named she's her business called Wired by the Sun.
Yeah, those are sick as
Got a
fuck.
more delicate hand.
How about now?
Okay.
Am I good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, can you hear Clay?
Yeah,
Can you
I
hear
can hear
me?
Clay now. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So, my buddy,
You out of here,
leaving?
Pharaoh?
Yeah. Damn, I was
Night,
just about to
brother.
use-
Night battle.
later. Yeah, I was just about to use him as an example, but I'll use him as an example anyway. So I don't know if you remember. I mean, he's got a different mustache right now, but Pero used to roam around these YouTube streets with the old little mustache,
Boxcar. Boxcar.
yeah, the boxcar, the Charlie Chaplin, right? And he did it for a reason. Okay, he just, in my opinion, I think he's trying to remind people that we all do some stupid shit sometimes, which is the same thing that Forrest's mother named him Forrest for. Okay, now if you notice my avatar for a moment, what do you see?
Racist.
The Confederate flag and the United States flag and something in the backdrop. I can't make that out.
That's
It looks
called
like a
Stars and
nutsack.
Bars. That's right. That's called the Stars and Bars. Okay. Now, this is definitely part of my heritage, 100%. Okay. So I keep it alive for that, for sure, because I do want to respect the dead. They fought for something that they believed in, whether it was right or wrong. But I also want to remind people that sometimes we do some stuff that is just a little bit dumb. Okay. The Democrats, the Dixiecrats, did some really dumb stuff, okay? And, it was completely immoral, wrong, whatever. But to pretend like that's gone is just silly, okay? Where does the racism lie? This is the question. Where does because it's there. I've seen it. We all see it on the videos when people act out with, certain hyperbolic language towards people so that they can get a reaction. And maybe sometimes it's just because they are reacting themselves, but it's there. Okay. Now,
How do you feel about the?
I don't have a problem with people making mistakes, but it's when they lie about it. When they lie about it, when they say, no, it's not really there. No, I don't see it. It's not there. No, it's not there. And you literally are looking at it, watching it constantly, day in, day out, like I did in the South. I saw it with my own eyes. I lived in the South. I'm from the South. I am that Southern son. And I'm telling the truth all the time. And the reason I'm telling the truth is because I don't want people to lie. I don't like liars. And so I'm not going to lie to you. I'm the one here to tell you the truth. I saw it. And it's still there.
I believe you're under the assumption that I said Republicans aren't racist, but I never said that. I actually have said there are racist Republicans out there. What I
That's
maintain,
not what I said.
well, you're talking about I seen it, I know it's there, yada yada yada, bit. No, I see your point there. I never made a claim there's not racist Republicans. My claim is you can spot them a mile away. You can't spot a racist Democrat. Now, how do you know those Republicans in Florida were racist?
Bro,
I think
are you
that's the
serious?
exact opposite. I think Democrats make it very fucking clear where they stand, and
In a way,
Republicans.
you're right in a way. If you're smart enough to see through their smoke screen, yes, you can point them out too. But a lot
I
of
mean,
people
I get
in
called
today's
racist
day
all the
and age,
time because I've been shaving my head since I was a kid. Because
right?
I hate my hair. I hate my hair. It's super thin. It looks stupid. So
But
I shave my head,
I got
and I
work
get called
tomorrow, so
racist.
I want to ask Clay 2 questions before I get off because I got work tomorrow or today, should I say? How did you know those were racist
You got
Republican
enough before you
voters?
go do that?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask. I don't mean to answer your question with a question, but if you were going to say that somebody is something, what would be the indicator for you?
If I were to say somebody is something,
Yeah, what would be the most important indicator?
their actions.
I would say it would be their words personally. So if somebody tells you that they're racist, would you believe them?
I'm completely racist. I hate everyone equally.
It depends on the context. Like, you know, sometimes I call myself racist because people want to fuck with me or try to like say, oh, you're German Irish, you must be a racist. Oh, yeah, I'm a racist. Sure. What of it?
It's not a joke, though. Like when they say it and they're actually meaning it, and you know that they mean it because not only have they said it, but they've also used many things to used many you said many words to indicate that they are such.
All right, so you kind of proved my point. Republicans will outright tell you that they're racist.
I proved your point. Oh my God, what have I proved?
Because Republicans will let you, by and large, know they're racist. Well, Democrats will not. They'll hide behind a smoke screen. So you already
isn't that what Ben tells people all the time?
Huh?
Isn't that literally what Ben tells people all the time?
It's the truth.
Yeah, so it's the truth.
Grinder shit. I don't cop to that grinder shit men be saying, but it's the truth about the closeted.
What do you want me to do about
racist
statistics?
But no, Clay, you literally said that their words describes them what they say, and that's how you can tell they're racist. And that I've been saying that.
Okay, very good, very good.
Republicans will outright tell you they're racist. Democrats will not.
Okay, fair enough. Now, if I tell you, or if somebody tells you that they're racist, okay, you believe that they're racist, okay, you believe that they would vote or be on the platform of racism if they were involved in politics.
The Civil Rights Act of 1964, while I don't know all the ins and outs of it, it was essentially the bill that made the federal government involved in it, which again is one of the reasons why Barry Goldwater didn't approve of that, but he approved of the last two.
If somebody said that they're racist and their words also indicate that they're racist, then we'll take it to their actions as well, that their actions indicate that they're racist, and then they get involved in politics, what platform would they run on?
Oh, I would assume Democrat. By and large.
No, what platform? Not party. Do you understand the difference between a platform and a party?
What do you... I don't know, fucking YouTube? I don't know. Expand on your question.
Okay, so a platform would indicate like what are their baseline ideals.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got an answer for you. Progressiveness, pro-immigration, pro-choice.
You got all that from racism.
Well, no, I got all that from dehumanizing segregation. And that's what the Democrats feed off.
So if somebody tells you that they're racist and they say words that indicate they're racist, you believe that they're racist, their actions indicate that they're racist, you believe that they're racist, okay? And then they get involved in politics, then they're going to run on what?
Well, I just said they'll probably run off progressiveness. Progressiveness.
What is progressiveness?
Well, on paper, it's inclusion for all, but the Democrats have twisted it. But I don't know where you're going with this. You already agreed with me that Republicans will outright tell you they're racist. That's how you know they're racist Republican voters or even racist Republican politicians in Florida. They outright tell you
racist person who is openly racist is going to run on racism.
Okay, and tell me how that will fare for them, Clay.
Openly.
How will that fare for their voter base?
What?
I don't see where you're getting at with this, bro.
If their voter base is also racist, I'm pretty sure it's going to do really well for them.
Do you think half of the country is racist?
Did I say that? Did I say that half the country is racist?
All right. Do you think 40% of the country is racist?
Did I say that 40% of the country is racist?
Okay, I'm trying to help you understand that if a politician outright said he was racist and then try to run, he's going to kill himself before he even gets a voter ballot.
Who is he trying to appease? His voter base, or is he trying to appease like the whole masses? Does he give a damn what the masses think? No, he doesn't care, because the people he cares about are the same motherfuckers that have the same goddamn ideology that he has. Do you think a Christian cares what an Odinist think? Do you think an Odinist cares what a Christian thinks? Fuck no, dude. How are you really this obstinate?
You mean obtuse?
No, I mean obstinate.
Anyways, so where are you getting at with this?
Obtuse would indicate that you actually know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, that I'm playing ignorant. Where are you getting at with
that he's
this?
purposely not getting the point.
And obstinate indicates that there's some things that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about for. But there are some things.
I believe that would be you, because you don't know freedom of religion was one of the main reasons why we decided a small government. But I digress. Where are you
freedom? No, hold on. Freedom of religion was decided because the states decided, certain ones decided that they didn't want to join the union unless there was a Bill of Rights. It wasn't just freedom of religion. It was, in fact, a bill of entire Bill of Rights. I don't want to get off
topic. Where are you getting at with the racist, openly racist
don't say anything
politician?
Stupid, okay?
Where's your argument with the openly racist politician and his voter base? What's your point to
the
all this?
openly racist politician with his voter base would most certainly not give a damn about the rest of the fucking country, and he would enjoy being either Republican or Democrat. It really wouldn't fucking matter as long as his voter base follows him. So if I'm a Southern Dixiecrat and I decide that, you know what, the entirety of the Democrat Party is too strong in this civil rights movement, but the Republicans really just don't fucking care about what the fuck a motherfucker thinks and wants in his party at this point in time, and he's really not paying attention and making sure that these things are that they're on par with the Constitution, I'm probably going to side with the ones that are kind of dumb and think, oh, you know what's 2 + 2 = 5? Okay, I'll go with that. And that's what I'm going to go with. As a Dixiecrat, if I'm a Dixiecrat, I'm going to look to see who the dumbest people on earth are, and I'm going to control them. Because as a Dixiecrat, I'm all about the whole Jim Crow thing. As a Dixiecrat, I'm all about, and don't quote me on this, okay? Stop being little assholes and thinking you can quote me out of context. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to clip you, dude. I'm clipping it.
So hold up.
You get the point now?
No, not really. But I'm going to touch on
because you're kind of dumb.
Then I'm getting off. But the fact that
don't tell me about all that nonsense. I don't want to know when
you're trying to tell me that I guess you're alluding to a racist Republican will get his voter base of Republican voters because they're stupid. That's rich, because the Democratic politicians or the voter base can't even fucking decide or know what a woman is. So bro, that's you
really think that I'm indicating that the Democrats? Like, hold on, wait. You think that I'm indicating the Democrats are smart, bro? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm not indicating that the Democrats are smart.
So what are you getting at, bro? Like you're saying some wild shit. Like you haven't come to a point. You're
saying strength. I'm saying strength. Strength is not necessarily intelligence. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
All right, what does that have to do with the party switch being a myth?
So what I said was that the Democrats grew in strength towards the civil rights. Okay, the whole point of civil rights, the idea that you settle these things in court instead of going and shooting each other. Okay, the Democrats grew strong in that movement because the black voters from the South moved north, and they sided with the Democrats up there, and then that movement went further outward from that. It just grew in strength, and this is literally what happened. This is just normal migration, by the way.
Well, actually, by and large, Republicans voted more on the civil rights than Democrats on a.
I'm not talking about 1877, dude. I'm talking about 1930s to 1950s. Do you understand that those are two very different generational time frames? Massive time gap there. What? You don't understand that the Jim Crow laws doesn't have anything to do with 1877?
No, they were implemented in the early 1990s, I believe, or maybe a little bit before that. But
oh my
God, supported Jim Crow laws.
Say to me when Jim Crow laws were implemented.
I can't give you the exact years, but they didn't end until the
no, roundabout. You just said it. You just said it again a second ago. When?
Either the very early 1900s or maybe before that.
Okay, I thought I heard you said 1990, so I'm glad that I gave you the
opportunity.
This is why I wanted to give you the opportunity to correct it.
No.
Yeah.
But am I accurate in the time frame, give or take a few years?
Yes.
Yeah, you originally did say 1990s, which was funny.
Well, that's my fault. I did not mean to say that. Thanks for allowing me to clear my position.
Yes, absolutely. So the early 1900s, Jim Crow laws came around. Some of them. The harsher ones came around a little bit later into the 20s and the 30s. And then the 30s through the 50s, all of the black people down there were like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And they moved up north to where they were being treated a little bit more fairly, not entirely fairly, but better than where the Jim Crow laws existed. And then the federal government literally sent troops down into the South. Right. And then Democratic voters got together and said, we're gonna actually have what we're gonna call the civil rights movement. That happened between the 50s and the 60s. This is literal history. Like, do you deny that this happened
during the debate? But go ahead.
This is literal history, right? So the 1877 Civil Rights Act passed.
1877 or the 1857 or 1957?
1877. So civil rights is from the late 1800s. Yeah. Like I know that a lot of Republicans don't even know that part. They think that the Republicans think that the civil rights happened in the fucking 1960s.
Yeah, you crack, baby.
Well, hold up, Clay. Hold up. The full point
is the link still in chat? Put the link in chat. I want more people up here.
They claim the switch happened after the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So I don't really want to.
Oh my gosh, bro.
You got married last month. Congratulations.
But I need to go to bed. I got work in 7 fucking hours. So I just want to ask you one thing. Do you think the Dixiecrats automatically joined the Republican Party?
No, absolutely not.
So what happened? Why did they join the Republican Party?
So there's history to this.
Not all of them, I might add.
Civil Rights Act was passed in the late 1800s. Then when the federal government left the South, Southern Dixiecrats through that time frame into the late 1800s and into the early 1900s, all the way through into the 30s, began implementing what we call the Jim Crow laws. And that in turn made a lot of black people go, fuck this, we're out, we're leaving. But they didn't stop being registered Democrats. What they did was they went north and they stayed Democrat because they liked the Democratic policies. They liked the policies that weren't racist, but they liked the Democratic policies. So when they moved north, they stayed being Democrat. And then they got with the Democrats up north who also liked being Democrat and implemented every kind of Democratic policy that wasn't racist. And then later on in the 50s and 60s, what they did was they got together and said, you know what? We need to go down south. And the 50s and 60s happened. This is what you know as the civil rights era, where the federal government stepped in yet again for a second time down south to stop what we call Jim Crow laws. And during that time, up until into the 70s, a lot of these Southern Dixiecrats realized that the Democratic Party was not serving their best interest. So they had one option in the sense of the two parties that are the uniparty, which is to become either stay Democrat or become Republican. The Republican Party was now at this point running on what they called law and order. But law and order doesn't necessarily mean morality. Whereas the Democrats stop, because I'm still going through this. You cannot stop me with history. You cannot stop me. You cannot stop it, Kraut. Stop it. Stop, Kraut. Do you want me to give you my explanation, or do you want to
you're
stop
pushing
me
propaganda right now? You're saying
so
only because of law and order. I'm not going to let you get away with that.
Stop it, Kraut. Stop it, Kraut. Stop it. You're being retarded now. Stop. You heard one word. Stop it. I let you go on. Okay. Let me
go
the whole
on. Truth. Go ahead. I'll let you.
I am telling the whole truth. Stop it.
Okay.
Just stop.
Go ahead.
Stop it.
Restate it.
Stop it.
Restate it.
Stop it. Stop being a fucking retard, please.
I'm not the one only giving.
I tell you what, Kraut, go to bed. Go to bed, Kraut. Go to bed. Go to bed, because you can't understand this stuff. You really can't. This is literal history, and I literally went all the way from the Civil Rights Act being passed in 1877 all the way, and I made it all the way up into the late 1960s. And then you stopped me at 1960s, okay?
Because
that's where you stopped me.
Stop and order.
Doing
it was
that.
more than law and
Stop
order.
Doing that. Stop doing it. Stop. You're still doing it. You're still doing it.
Restate your claim, brother.
No, I'm not going to restate my claim. Go to bed.
Because you know you're wrong.
I'm not going to restate my claim. You're being a retard. I'm not going to stop. No, stop it. Go to bed.
So you're not going to restate it?
Go to bed.
I got a question.
You got to go to work tomorrow. Go to bed.
Are you rage quitting without rage quitting?
Go to bed, dude.
I got your question.
Didn't you say you had to go to bed? You wanted a nice explanation. I fucked you real good. Okay, go to sleep.
Well, actually, you didn't. I asked you, when did the Dixiecrats join the Republican?
You stopped me before you got off.
When did the Dixiecrats join the Republican
Bro, you
Party,
can't get off if you stop me in the middle of me fucking you.
You can't answer the question, can you? Go ahead,
You can't get off if you stop me in the middle of fucking you, okay? This is just the way it works.
You really want to fuck another man, don't
gross,
you?
Dude.
Go ahead, Jody. What's your question?
Clay. How many
I'm just being
continents
real.
are there?
The man
How many
cannot
continents are there?
stop me in the middle of me fucking him if he wants to get off.
Well, no, you kind of fucked yourself because you pushed your propaganda.
No, I was explaining to you. I made it all the way up until the late 1960s, and then all of a sudden, Kraut's got to jump in and say, "Oh, no, you're wrong."
You are wrong,
and you're still here. You're still here. Why are you still here? I thought you had to get sleep.
Let
Don't
Jody
you have to work tomorrow?
Let Jody ask his question.
Don't you have to work
I
tomorrow?
did ask my question.
I thought.
What was your question? I can't hear you. Clay's spurging right now.
How many continents are there? That goes to both of you.
How many what?
How many continents?
22.
Yeah, that doesn't seem accurate. What's the point of this question? Geography isn't my strong point.
Well, it's just to throw you guys off of fucking jerking each other's fucking mental boners. How many fucking continents
are
are
you
there?
willing to restate your statement?
No, Kraut, because every time I'm going to say it, what you're going to do is you're going to stop me from fucking you.
Well, no, I'm going to stop you if you only mention one thing, because that is literal propaganda that you're pushing.
Okay, what is the propaganda that I'm pushing? Go ahead and tell me.
The propaganda that you tried to push was the Republicans were getting the Southern Democrats or the Dixiecrats from law and order. Like you're trying to insinuate that's the only reason.
Okay, I said that. Yeah, I said that. How is that? How is that? How is that propaganda?
How else were they getting the Southern voters?
Bro, how is that propaganda? You just made a claim. Okay. How is that propaganda?
Are you stating that's the only reason
How is it
why they,
propaganda? Stop asking questions and answer the fucking question.
are you saying that's the only reason
you're
why they
being
started
too
getting
rough.
Southern Democrats?
Bro, stop asking questions. How is that propaganda?
Is that the only reason they got Southern Democrats?
Propaganda.
It's from Law and Order. Yeah.
Go to bed, Kraut.
All right. So yeah, so Jody just answered, I believe, yes, right, Jody?
It doesn't
Law
matter
and
what Jody
Order.
said. You're asking me.
All right, that's propaganda right there. They got the Southern votes more than Law and Order.
Bro,
That's what he
you're
wanted.
you're not gonna answer.
given-
You're not gonna answer the question, right, Kraut?
I just answered you. That's propaganda right there.
You bitch. You little squirmy little shit snake.
Bro, I literally just answered you.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, that's propaganda. Claiming that
How
they
is
only
it? How
work-
is it propaganda?
when you claim they only worked off of Law and Order, that's
I never said
propaganda.
that. I never said that. Stop fucking lying, you fucking lying little shit snake.
You did though.
No, I didn't. I didn't say that, Kraut. No, I didn't.
Then what's your claim?
Doesn't matter. You're going to bed.
Because you know I'm right. You keep trying to
If
say,
you were right, you would leave it alone and go to fucking bed.
you said several occasions during tonight that they worked off of Law and Order. You didn't state nothing else that they worked off of. Meanwhile, I have stated, yes, they worked off of Law and Order, but they also worked off of religion, the working class, pro-life movements.
What you're trying
and,
to do is you're
small
trying
government.
to move and shift the goalpost to
I'm not
why
moving
else they did it.
Do
Why
you know
else
what-
were the Republicans Republicans? Don't you
Do
know
you-
that the
do you know what
Republicans
moving
were
the goalpost
Republicans
is?
for other reasons?
Goddamn Christ, dude.
Bro,
This
it
is way
doesn't
better than the
matter.
debate.
They pulled in voters. Why?
For several reasons, like I just stated.
And one of them was littering and
do you know why they moved away from the Democratic Party?
Did the Democrats go to the Republican Party because they knew that the Republican Party was running on Law and Order, Kraut?
To answer that, yes, would to assume that's the only reason why they moved
Hey,
to the
stop being a
Republican
squirmy little
Party.
shit snake, you fucking doofus.
Listen to what I'm saying instead of interrupting. To answer that, yes,
No,
you would
I don't
have
want to listen to you
assume
anymore.
because you know I'm right.
No,
When you
you're
know
not.
people are right, you don't like listening to them.
You're
to answer
not
that,
right.
yes, you would have
I
to
was
assume-
the one talking. You interrupted me. You're the one literally doing exactly what you're accusing me of. I
No,
was
I
talking,
gave-
and I almost made it to
gave
the point, but you're like, no, we can't get there. No.
I gave you several chances to restate your claim, and you refused to do it because you know it would prove my point.
Why do I need to restate my claim?
What reasons did the Southern Democrats start voting
What
Republican?
reason do I need to restate my claim?
Huh?
For what reason?
Anyways,
do
this is
I-
getting repetitive. Clay, you know.
So
I
now
hate you.
it's
That's
got,
why
now
you're
you
acting
have
like
a
kid
problem
right
with
now.
repetitiveness, but you don't have a problem with repetitiveness when you want me to restate my claim. So which one is it? Do you want me to restate my claim, or do you not want me to restate my claim? Because you have a problem with repetitiveness now.
To restate your claim isn't repetitive. It's giving you an opportunity.
That's
to
exactly,
rephrase it.
literally the definition of repeating. Can you repeat your claim? I don't want you to repeat your claim. It's not the definition of repeat.
Yeah, I don't want to get into a meta with you, Clay.
Go to
because
sleep. Go to sleep.
Even if I'm wrong on a subject, nobody has beat me in a meta yet because I'm very, very careful with what I say and what people say. So I don't want to get into a meta with you.
Yeah,
You
you're
would
very
just lose
careful
outright.
to say some bullshit. Yes, I know.
Okay. Well, anyways, I am exiting
get
the
off.
panel. I have stated several times during this debate that the Southern Democrats, there's two reasons why they were Republican. The Democratic Party started changing their views and started becoming everything that progressiveness, pro-choice, yada yada yada. Where the Republican Party started to implement more of a family dynamic, working class dynamic, religious dynamic, and small government dynamic. Those two things combined push for the Southern Democrats, Dixiecrats, to join the GOP. To sit there and claim several times during tonight that it was only about law and order is an outright lie. You're either being obtuse or you literally do not know history like you claim you do. I'm not a scholar in history. The only thing is I know about history that we're debating because I read about it for the last 3 or 4 days to try to make my case stronger. I don't sit there and, state one fact because it'll align with my fucking viewpoint. I'll give you an example. The Southern Strategy actually said they're for the working class white man. I want to distinguish that. It's literally in there. It's not the working class. It's the working class white man. I'll put that distinction in there because it might not help my view because it's the white man working class. But all in all, everything together with the Republicans and everything the Democrats were turning into literally pushed the Dixiecrats to vote Republican. And that is a fact. I'm not asking about 1870s. That's not what the prompt is. Most people think the switch happened during the 1964 Civil Rights Act. So 100 years from that era, honestly, don't even fucking matter. Hey, Ben, thanks for having me. Sorry you had to hear me and Clay Spurg. Hey, Clay, man, I love you, man. You're a religious guy like myself. At the end of the day, you my brother. Unless you're a Hebrew Israelite, then you can go somewhere else with that bullshit.
No, I had fun. I'm glad we were able to challenge each other. This was fun.
Yeah. Take it easy, Jody.
Yeah, you too, bro.
All right. We will call it a night then. Thank you, Kraut.
Yeah.
Good debating, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, yeah, I like that.
Thank
idea
you,
too.
guys.
I'm gonna give my quick close. I don't agree with Kraut. Obviously, I do know quite a bit about this history stuff, and to discount the last 100, 150 years, 250 years, and say that only we can examine 1 year in 1964 to determine whether a switch happened is absolutely ridiculous. It's silly. We would obviously want to examine the entirety of the party and not just the simple 1 year span. So anyway, thank you, Ben.
I just think though,
and thank you, Spin, as well.
Yeah, Spin, Ben, thank you very much once again. I just think the whole thing is was kind of redundant, because who the fuck? I know us three agree. Like, who the fuck actually gives a fuck if it happened or not? My biggest issue was the one word myth, as if it never happened, but he did admit that it happens all the time. So that was my only interjection.
Well, good. We'll love you guys. Thanks everybody
Love
for
you.
watching. Have a good night.
Peace out.
Spin City. Spin City on the screen, got the room on 10. Breaking news, panel smoke, then he does it again. The bass in the morning, debauchery